Get this to start recording. So, I think I've already shown both of you that drawing that I had done for that scene.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, for the first session. Found a guy on 4chan, of all places, so you can find anything on there, to actually draw up that scene of Eddie shooting McManus, right?
And
I missed that
thread.
thread.
It wasn't just a picture of Dick Butt either.
No, it wasn't a picture of Dick Butt. It was Eddie with even the money on the table. Eddie blasting him into retirement. So,
giving him the fast ticket to retirement.
The great retirement home in the sky.
Yeah, the great speak. So
the great speak in the sky.
So, yeah, that turned out pretty good. I'm pleased. I'll probably go back to him for some more amazing scenes in future sessions. So,
did you get contact info?
Yeah, I have contact info from him. So yeah, I'll. What it would cost is like $40 for something like that. Because I guess he paints them. He actually does paint. So.
Wow. Well, don't go hemorrhaging money on these dorky sessions.
I make enough, and my bills are pretty minimal. So.
Okay.
I don't mind, especially when the art's that good. I don't mind supporting. I don't mind being a patron of the arts.
By the way, I actually totally forgot asking. Yeah, I wasn't here last session. Did you guys do anything?
Oh, we ended up. No, we didn't. We just didn't play. Kyle was off with his brothers, so I just went ahead and did nothing.
Want a refill over there?
So after our week hiatus, where we left off, you guys shelled out $30,000 to Connor.
Talked a lot of mad shit, but paid the money anyway.
Talked a lot of mad shit. I think that leaves you pretty strapped. Did you have a count of cash on hand, Kyle? Or
do $250.
You have $250.
That's what Killian has personally. I don't know what the partnership has between it.
Okay.
Oh, yes, I do. $2,200 between the partners.
Between everybody, because money was loaned.
Yeah, that's everything pooled.
What's his name? The restaurant guy.
As I recall,
Lorenzo.
One of the last scenes is, Mr. Lorenzo was getting the old shakedown by Mo. I don't remember what that may have interjected into our funds, because I don't remember any figures.
This can't be right, but I have the name Lorenzo Cuneo written down.
His last name is Cuneo.
Oh, okay. That is right.
So, Lorenzo Cuneo, you shook him down. I think the payment was not a whole lot.
It's like a few $100, maybe.
It's a few $100.
I think we pretty much just went in there and gave him the fear of God to let him know this is really happening.
Yeah. So you cashed in. So I'm gonna say we'll just round up. We'll say you have $3,000 on hand. I'm gonna say a week has passed, and that the $3,000 is what you have on hand after expenses and everything, because you guys had to get the speak up and running for the weekend. We'll say it's like Friday night. You guys are at the reopening of McManus Manor. Did you guys change the name at all, or did you decide to keep it in memoriam?
I vote we keep it.
We could never change that name, man. It was like everyone knows the McManus Manor. We'd be losing a lot of recognition there, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's a brand name, so McManus Manor reopens. You have $3,000 cash in hand after you've had to spend, but you've started to earn it back. So things are hopping. I'm gonna say that you've got a band up there playing some nice easy jazz. People are enjoying drinks. A few people are dancing. And then Eddie has replaced Mo. Since Mo, promoted you up, he's got some new muscle now to work for him, working the door at McManus. Let's see, Carlo DeLuca. He was kind of a big, dumb brute of a guy. Could be a little more Neanderthal than most.
He did not almost go to college.
Carlo did not. Carlo almost didn't go to high school. So, yeah, he's watching the door. And then I'm also going to say that at the bartending bar, you've got Dermot McBride, who I'm going to say he's probably just a friend. He's a younger fellow. He's one of the friends of one of Killian's cousins. But he's a pretty good bartender. I mean, he knows his way around alcohol, and he's pretty inventive. So, What, I'm assuming everybody, since the reopening, all three of the partners, Mo, Killian, and Eddie, are there.
Of course, have to supervise the opening of their investment, especially the circumstances in which it was gained. Got to see how things are going to be going from here on out.
Yeah, you want to make sure that, things go smoothly.
So, it's probably... It was closed for like a week or something, right? How's, maybe we were throwing some kind of special event, the reopening of McManus or something like that? Or would we even want that? Would we simply have it closed down for technical difficulties and then faces have changed, but outside of that, don't ask any questions, patrons.
It's not common knowledge that McManus is dead.
Of course.
Eddie had the bodies of both Lou and McManus disposed of, so really there's only a select number of people who suspect that he's dead, and only a couple who know.
I vote we maintain the image that he's still around. He's off in a new community, and he governs by phone.
Yeah, okay then.
So he's retired. So you guys want people under the impression, yeah, he's still in charge. He's retired and he's moved on. And he's just calling in to ask about receipts now and then and that kind of shit.
Make sure he can pay for that big boat that he went and got on.
Oh yeah, he got a nice boat and he's selling the seas out in the Caribbean and just enjoying the good life.
Yep.
He sent a telegram from Haiti a few days ago.
Down in this place called Cuba. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's really hopping right now. So
it's a pretty great place.
Great cigars. I hope nothing ever happens to that supply train.
Oh yeah, that Cuba, one of America's greatest allies. That's a relationship that's going to last forever. Mark my words. God bless capitalism. So
yeah, we're I guess we're probably up in an office or something, probably on an upper floor, just kind of being there, supervising that kind of thing.
Smoking fat cigars and, having a drink amongst friends and just...
I imagine kind of like a loft above the speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, it's probably, it's a converted warehouse or something, like maybe like a tenement or something, and underneath it is an actual... But yeah, you guys have like kind of a foreman's office sort of thing above, where you've got like a poker table set up and a
snooker.
We can loom if we want.
You've got billiards and you've got like several windows facing over the dance floor and the bar and everything. So
okay.
So you're having a gay old time up there.
Oh.
Smoking fat cigars and playing cards and etc. And Killian, you did not end up with a whole lot of money after having to pay Connor. But I'm going to say that, the whiskey runs and everything, which would have netted you probably a good bit more money than normal, but you had to pay that out to kind of get things back up and running. So you've got $3,000. I'm going to say 1,000 of that is your share. Mo also has 1,000. Eddie has 1,000 that he can do whatever Eddie does with his money. Is there any particular investment? Because you've got Fievel in there with you, Eddie's Jew, who's good with numbers, and he kind of has an ear to the ground for business opportunities in the city. Is there anything you want to do with your 1,000? Do you want to save it, put it to work?
We were discussing a textile factory.
That's right. Actually, I totally forgot about that.
And I think you did.
I think you bought.
What was it?
Already.
Fievel.
I think you did buy. That's what happened to the difference between the $30,000 and then the rest of the money. You put that to the textile factory.
You were looking out, trying to get some girls to work there.
Yeah, we were discussing how we were going to get employment for the joint.
Yeah.
So that's probably the topic of conversation. I don't remember if we settled anything on that conversation, so we could play like a scene out where we pitch some ideas, figure out how we're gonna man it. So let's see. Now, word of warning, I haven't practiced my accent in a while, so this is going to be something
That's what the alcohol's for, so don't worry about it yet.
That's why I should have drank.
Yeah, I should have drank.
Last time it was like 2-3 drinks in that I finally managed to pick an accent and stick with it.
Yeah, that's why you got
it was still terrible, but...
I can get you a shot if you want a shot.
You know what? Let's hit me up with a shot.
Wet the whistle. I'll just leave this recording. Go ahead, sit there, talk amongst yourselves.
He wants to know what we say when he's not in the room.
Yeah, I'm gonna record it and I'm gonna listen to it later. So
Those
Nick
bastards.
is a jackass. Also, if for some absurd reason you're not one of us 3 players and listening to this recording, yes, welcome to the adventures of our whiskey runners turned mafia type guys. It's kind of weird. Actually, I don't picture whiskey runners shaking down restaurants, but that is exactly what I did.
You gotta diversify, and
Exactly.
you gotta make your money go to work for you. You can't just sit around on it, or you'll drink it away. Well, at least if you're a first generation Irish. So
Yes. I haven't even really decided on this Mo guy's ethnicity. I didn't even really give any thought to it. He's probably...
For this kind of setting, anybody who isn't explicitly named as one ethnicity, I just assume that they're Italian.
Probably. There you go.
It's the big city.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
So there's a shot to wet the whistle and this to survive it.
Thank you, Zeph. Thank you. Oh, Lord.
I produced 2 empties already.
Does that burn a little bit?
Just a little bit.
It's like twice.
Is that the Kraken?
Yeah, that's the Kraken. That's twice the proof of normal rums.
It usually I don't understand the moniker of spiced rum, but with this, yeah, okay, I totally buy it. This is spiced.
Yeah, there's some spice in there. The spice is called fire. And
I can feel a little bit of it.
And it burns like a Kraken's venom.
All right,
Are they venomous?
Probably shit. I don't know. I've never seen one. So.
Nobody's ever lived a Kraken attack long enough to tell if they're venomous or not.
Yeah,
Pretty much die up front.
They'd have to escape the shipwreck to find out.
Should have grabbed another beer for me while I was up.
So, all right, picture it. There we are. There Mo as everyone is around this poker table. So, and they're discussing the subject of how they're going to staff their newfound textile factory. And, yeah, Mo is, he's probably at least bright enough to recognize who wants a job. Hey, Killian, I was thinking, there's a lot of these, what kind of place we want to be running here? Obviously we want to minimize staff expenses, right? So what if we, how do you feel about, employing the, how shall we say, the youth of our fine nation here?
Oh, of course. You wanna get somebody with a fresh face that you know is gonna stick around for a while.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. So,
and to be frank, if we're the only employment they've ever known, they're not gonna know that there's potentially better out there.
Exactly. You get them while they're young, and you take care of them when they're older, right? So,
Take care of them while they're older, like McManus.
like McManus. You gotta take care of the elderly, man.
Yeah, the employment package offers a nice retirement benefit.
We'll see them all the way true to retirement.
So with that in mind, you know any good neighborhoods around here? I'm just gonna say my neighborhood was a little too prepped for that kind of work. What about you? Have any ideas?
I just know the Bowery slums, the international district, which I think is probably right up our alley.
There you go. Out of character for a moment. I don't remember child labor laws, but I'm guessing they were not enacted during this time. Is this the kind of thing we would be able to advertise openly?
I think children working in canning factories was still a thing.
Yeah, it was going up right up until, I don't know, the 50s, I think.
That's actually a...
I'm just basically trying...
I feel like that's actually an important thing to look into.
Yeah, I'm just
because if we're going to employ children one way or another, but we need to know
how open we want to be about it.
Is there a union or a school official that we're going to have to bribe?
So what Wikipedia says is, as the United States industrialized, factory owners would hire young workers for a variety of tasks. especially in textile mills.
Nice.
Children were often hired together with their parents. Children had a special disposition to working in factories as their small statures were useful for fixing machinery and, just general dangerous-ass shit that a sensible adult would not want to do.
Exactly.
Right.
The National Child Labor Committee, an organization dedicated to the abolition of all child labor, was formed in 1904.
So yeah, by now we would probably have to keep it on the down low. So maybe what we should... Maybe what we should do, Killian. Hey, I'm thinking, what if we hired a couple of our youths? I'm sure you have some younger cousins. Maybe if they're in school or at least know where a school is, maybe they could hang around, put out the word.
It seems like there were laws and there was stuff in effect trying to stop child labor, but that got blocked and people fought it. Because, who doesn't want children working in their factories,
So it's kind of a hot topic issue, but it's not strictly illegal.
It is something that they're kind of, still bouncing around the Supreme Court and everything. But right now, yeah, it's totally legal to have, kids working with their parents. It wasn't until, 1938 that the Fair Labor Standards Act was signed by Roosevelt. That was no more babies crawling into furnaces to check for leaks and shit.
This Theodore asshole trying to put little babies out of work. What's this guy's problem?
Franklin Roosevelt. Theodore was like, by all means, throw them in there, stoke the fires.
All right.
This is what makes our country great.
So.
No, hang on. That was a Nixon voice.
Same thing. That's how they all sound like under the mask.
They're a blur in my head. So
okay. So children, hire some women and their kids.
Killian's got some cousins. The farming cousins. They live out of town. They're in a farming community. I bet we could get a morning wagon load of children each day that maybe they don't have enough chores around the home and they want to make a few cents for their family to pay the bills.
So just head through the neighborhood and say, who wants to make a buck for the day?
And frankly, assuming that the rest of the farming community is a lot like the Kellys, it probably would be as easy as going knocking on doors and asking people's parents, like, hey, I noticed you got some children playing in your yard.
Want to give them to me for a day?
Want to rent me your children?
We can keep an eye on them during working hours and keep them out of, trouble, keep them out of mischief, and we'll even send them home with a few pennies for you.
I don't know about the social standards of the day, but I'm gonna guess we would have more luck just trying to hire within the city rather than trying to
pick up the rural farm children.
Look in the local neighborhood around the textile factory itself. They're seeing it open. Probably we're gonna be fixing it up or something. I imagine.
Given it a second thought, I realize the rural children would be more likely to want to earn money, but they have less free time.
Because they're doing farm shit.
Totally the kids chasing strays through the streets. Those are the ones
so have somebody, have a couple people go around the neighborhood that's right by.
Is there an orphanage?
I'm sure there is, but I think...
I'm not talking about adopting. I'm just saying, go to the matron and be like, hey, we'll help with your coal bills.
Well, I think what Patrick is saying is have someone, have the foreman go around to the houses in the neighborhood of the factory. And just say we just opened up a factory and, where someone called in sick. And then just say that 20 times. Until you've got a labor force of children.
Okay. And then we do what? Send them home with a message like, hey, they want me on full time? Or do we just keep doing the same thing every morning? Because that's going to require a person to actually go do that job.
We will invent a way when that factory opens, I suppose. In the meantime, we're just kind of discussing where and who we're gonna be, how we're gonna be getting that force in there.
Unless you have people of your own, I could probably assign one of my working cousins to
You need someone to oversee the factory.
Actually, my younger brother is a print press operator.
There you go.
So I could probably hire him on full time as a foreman.
What's his name?
That'll Alistair.
Does he own the print press or does he just work there?
He's just an operator.
He works for him?
He pulls the lever that presses the paper.
Fuck it, that's enough experience in a factory. So yeah, why don't you hire him on? Bring him into the crew, into the family business.
He can show.
All right.
He can show all the.
Yeah,
other
you need someone to run the textile factory.
Yeah, he's only a year younger than me, so he's not like naive as to what I do for a living.
See, the thing though is that well, I think what we're kind of forgetting here is that the textile factory is a front for
it
other
will make a
illicit
small amount of
business.
money for us, though.
Well, as a legitimate business that you can say, yeah, here's where I work and my W-2, whatever.
It's an acceptable front as long as children aren't getting their arms ripped off by machinery.
Often, as long as they're not getting their arms ripped off often.
Once or twice annually, we could probably afford to go to the parents and be like, here's a big bag of coin.
I mean, that's expected. I mean, arms are going to come off in a factory. But what was the intent? Because you've got the textile factory for a front, which I'm assuming it has, like, a lower level. What was the intent for the illicit business? You're going to use it to cover up more whiskey production?
Oh, I think we were...
Was it rum?
We were going to use it for counterfeiting.
Counterfeiting money, that's right.
And we were going to... Gosh, we were going to make fake money and then funnel it through the exact same business to launder it.
Okay,
we're
counterfeiting.
Pretty damn in-house. Like, we're not outsourcing to anybody.
The less partnerships you have, the less people you got to retire, so...
Exactly.
So we got to speakeasy, and if we can get business there going well enough, like, we won't need the other speaks either, like... Well, Kavanaugh's going to have to get us cut no matter what we do.
Oh, that's a good thing to remind me of. Hand me a G6.
Okay. Here's some D6s. And
hey, give me two of them.
Oh, two. Oh, that was two.
Okay. Roll some of these. For once in the game. Okay, so here you go. I'm gonna say that about that time, Carlo comes up and he knocks on the office door. And, Eddie goes over and he answers it, and Carl steps in. He says, there's a guy downstairs who wants to see the boss.
Who is he?
I don't know. I never met him, but he says he works for the king.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah. Grab the dog lead and go ahead and lead him on up. But don't let him walk around unattended.
So Carlo nods and he backs out, and then he stomps downstairs because he's one of those kind of big guys who just stomps.
Heavy-footed little fucker.
Yeah, you won't believe when I hired a guy, he was a trash man. So he goes downstairs, and then Carlo comes back up, and he brings in a pretty slim-looking curly-haired fella. He's got a vest on, he's got a tie tucked into it, his sleeves are rolled up, he's got a jacket that he's already made himself comfortable by removing. And he comes in and he says, yeah, thanks. So he steps in and he kind of grabs a seat and he sits down at the table, as if he owns the place.
Look at this guy helping himself to a seat.
Yeah, I was so tempted to say, yeah, have a seat, man.
Make yourself at home, why don't you?
Well, Connor sent me for the money.
They kind of all exchange glances, I'm guessing. Man, I should start taking down how much money Mo actually has. So, what...
1,000 is your cut of the 3 on hand of the partnership.
Okay.
Wait.
And what did he make from, I don't remember what he did with the money from Lorenzo or how much it was.
I don't remember what it was. It wasn't much. We'll say $300 a month.
Okay.
And so just put 1,100.
All right.
So...
And does anyone remember how much his cut was?
So we're taking...
As in how much this guy
I want to say 10%.
10%.
Because I think the agreement had been 8, and then I mouthed off, and it went to 10.
Something, yeah.
Next to the whole.
Because there was 30 grand, and then 10% of whatever action you got going forward. Which,
30,
I mean, this
the
is...
the 30, that was like a down payment, right?
Yeah, the 30 was basically...
not recurring.
No, that was
That's good, because
That was a
phenomenal.
not die today.
That was
tax.
an
Yeah.
upfront, like,
We
you
bought
guys
our-
overstepped and you need to pay a fee.
We bought our business license for 30 grand.
Pretty much, yeah. And so, I mean, this is your first night. This is the opening night of the reopening for McManus Manor. You haven't even figured out what your take is nightly. And he's come by for the 10%.
Good point. Well, how about...
You know, the night's still young, my friend. We don't even know what the king's cut of today's business is. Why don't you come back in another... I don't know how late it is, but... You know, after we close. How about you come back in such and such hours?
No. Let's give him a pass. Tell the barman to, give the man free drinks for the evening. Let him hang around and see the business. And then at the end of business hours, we'll go down and fetch him back up and
That is far
What
more
a-
diplomatic.
give him a
What are your,
note for the king's cut.
Yeah, what are your diplomatic skills there? What cliches do you have that might apply?
None.
None. What's your
I-
charisma?
I've got a modifier of 3.
A +3 to charisma?
Yeah.
Alright, roll 3 dice.
Here's this.
Thank you. Handiest
Because,
thing of this
Killian-
whole kit you have right here is the portable rolling surface.
I know, right? It did
Killian
not-
in a strangely diplomatic mood
Oh,
tonight.
6.
6. Oh, well, that's
Well,
too bad.
I don't want to give him the boot and inadvertently insult the king.
He's just trying
but-
to smooth over and say, could you wait at least until we find out how much we've made before asking for a cut?
I want him the hell out of me office.
So the guy, he leans forward and he takes your pack of cigarettes off of the table, and then he helps himself to a cigarette and lights it. And he says, "I see you had a deal with Connor, who they don't call the king for nothing. 10%, and I happen to know that was at least $1,000 that McManus was bringing in a night.
You'll get 10% of the final figure when the final figure's been added up and not a moment sooner. So I suggest that you enjoy our hospitality in the meantime.
Oh, shit.
The king will get what the king gets. Busting my balls in the meantime isn't gonna change anything."
And he takes a long, hard look at you, and a long, hard drag off of your cigarette. Then he blows the smoke across the table at you. He says, "Drinks on the house, then."
Yeah, downstairs, if you don't mind. This is management only up here.
And then he stands up.
And
he,
next time, I'll thank ya to come after business hours.
You get more money back.
There's no way this isn't tanking every diplomat. It's funny, like, I was the one who was being the anti-diplomat. Then he was all like, yeah, no, I'm gonna at least say something worth a roll.
Killian's being very firm. Like, this is how the business works.
You've established the boundaries before that Connor is not your boss. He kind of established the boundaries back, though, that he's every working man's boss in the city, so...
Frankly, I don't feel I'm being insulting. I have invited this young man to come enjoy drinks on my dime, on the partnership's dime, at that.
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll all work out.
Yeah,
So,
To let him
Girls,
enjoy
music.
himself while we crunch the numbers upstairs.
So he stands up, and he puts his jacket on, and then he drops his cigarette in your drink. And he says...
Slap it off the table.
He says,
I'm done with it anyways.
"I'll be downstairs." And then he heads back out.
I'll
fucking Christ. Not, like, obviously after he exits, Mo is all like, fucking Christ, not even a day after the place opens. We already got this assholes breathing down our necks.
You see what he's doing, though, don't you? opening night, we're going to have better numbers tonight than we will the rest of the week, and tonight's what's going to set that 10%.
Ah. There you go.
Ruddy little bastard.
He sounded like an accountant when he came in.
Yeah.
So,
Le Cantador.
I suppose the most I'll say in the meantime is Mo is going to personally go kind of keep an absent something of an eye on this fellow while the other two business partners count up their stuff. He'll obviously keeping a comfortable distance. He'll like watch him from kind of the upstairs room, or like get down on the floor and kind of be across the room if he has to, that kind of thing. Make sure he's just sticking around doing his thing.
Okay, just keep an eye on stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that Eddie heads downstairs after a few minutes to take the first drop out of the register. Just because you don't want to keep all the money downstairs in case there's a raid or what have you. And then he brings up a small satchel of cash to dump on the table so that it can start being sorted. Okay.
Hey, so
Yeah, Kyle just went to the bathroom, but yeah, come join us. So downstairs, the guy that Connor has sent to collect the take is kind of milling about. He's having a drink here and there, listens to the band a little bit. Goes and he plays pool with a couple of dark fellas, that kind of thing. So
them darkies, man.
So for the most part, so far the night is going pretty smooth. Hand me a D6 there.
Do I miss any talking points?
Nothing important.
Oh.
Mo is like keeping an eye on this guy here, barking up our ass here, and otherwise nothing's really happening.
So I'm gonna say close to midnight. There's all of a sudden, you can hear a door loudly being, slammed open.
Oh fuck!
And then, Eddie gets up and he goes to the windows and he looks. I'm assuming that you guys go to look out as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see that there are a couple of cops who are, one of them kind of has his gun on Carlo, who's got his hands up, and he pins Carlo against the wall. People are all kind of standing still and they're nervous. They're worried, obviously. And then you can't really hear, but he's asking questions of Dermot at the bar. And
Fuck!
Not the bartender.
And then Dermot kind of points upwards. And then while the other cop pours himself a drink at the bar, and then kind of waves his hand, gesturing and shouting something, the band begins awkwardly playing again. And one of the cops comes upstairs to the door and knocks.
I don't suppose we had the foresight to arrange an escape route from this office.
You could definitely...
I'm sure we could jump out a window, but there's not going to be a fire escape there.
So you mean to tell me you don't have a copy of the tape?
I think the king deals with the police, but if they're here tromping around our business, then something isn't even between the two parties.
Connor has the police in his pocket for the most part. He's part of the protection fee the businesses pay for.
If we've got a cop who seems to be in charge drinking in front of the other cops at an illegal speakeasy, chances are these might be the king's cops.
But it's weird because, I mean, what would the king have sent that guy for? Like, what did he tell the guy? Like, okay, if the money isn't here by like 9 o'clock, we're raiding the place. Like, would he really have said that? Maybe we pissed him off that much.
I kind of have the feeling that he's just trying to get my hackles up, because really mouthed off last time.
You did. Alright, so our character, how are we going to handle this? Are we fucking booking out the window, or are we going to try and talk to the cops?
Work your own?
Eddie sits behind the desk.
Work your own deal?
Eddie sits behind the desk to hide the gun that he has in his hand, because he's probably a better shot than I am.
Ready to blow the guy away just if he feels like it.
What's the worst that could happen? So, alright, we're gonna try and play this cool then. Alright, corrupt cops, Probably the Kings. We can assume as much, maybe.
I think it's a safe assumption.
It
I
just seems
don't
weird
think the
'cause it goes
local
against-
police would be busting us without an agent with them.
It just seems weird that he
even though we
would.
blew away the local agent.
It just seems weird because why would he send his collection agent here for and then arrange a cop raid the same day? Like, that is some pretty narrow timing we're talking there.
Muscle to prevent us holding out.
So he comes and he knocks at the door.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out.
So Mo, do you answer?
Yeah. Mo, he kind of cracks open the door a comfortable distance, not, standing there, not really letting him in, and says, "Hello." I assume he's obviously an officer, right? So
He steps in and he removes his hat and he kind of slicks back his greasy hair that's a little bit gray. He's kind of,
Very polite.
he's kind of, 40s, mid-40s-ish. And he looks around and, "Well, what do we have here?" And he kind of, steps towards the table, and he's got his nightstick that he shifts the bills around on the table and tips over one of the empty glasses that contained booze just minutes before.
And Mo says, "I don't know, my officer friend. What do we have here?"
Well, it looks to me like some kind of illegal gambling, possibly larceny, fraud. I'm sure there's a laundry list of other crimes going on under this roof. The least of which is alcohol.
It could be a long list, but have you got a pen and paper on you?
And
Can you write it all down?
And then he looks at you hard for a minute as if he's about to bust the jaw off of your face. And then he tilts his head back and he laughs out loud and he leans forward and he grabs the bottle of whiskey and takes a swig straight off of it. And he says, "So you work for Mr. McManus, do you?"
Our friend is a notable consultant and business partner who has, in his retirement, moved off to a better place. Caribbean, last I heard.
Roll, what does Mo have for bullshitting?
I don't think anything would really be relevant here. Muggsy almost went to college, and Guilty Daddy's Boy.
What does he have in charisma?
0.
Roll,
what about Guilty Daddy's Boy? Because you're used to snobby people.
I don't
No?
think so. Yeah, roll a 1 die of fate.
Alright, the 1 die of fate. It is a 5.
A 5, okay. So he says, old man McManus was always talking about retiring. Could have at least said goodbye before he went, but some people got no manners.
He was in a real hurry to get out of town.
I don't blame him. So, seems that you're running things now, I may as well elaborate on the arrangement he and I had. See, the name's Declan Carroll, and this is my beat. So I don't know what kind of business you may have with Connor or whoever else runs this part of Potato Land, but McManus paid to me to keep an eye on the place overnight.
Oh my!
Who didn't pay?
We're
Well,
not-
McManus was telling you guys he was paying out the ass to like a freaking dozen
12 different
people.
parties. Yeah, ridiculous.
So his problems are your more money, more problems.
Do you have a number or location where we can reach you in the morning?
Well, sure, I can write down my home phone number for you if you like, but mostly I'm just here for my $75.
It's
Ooh, actually, that
opening
compared to what we have on hand, that's not much.
The guy's a beat cop, so I mean,
we
he's
should
not a
see what
heavy
kind
hitter.
of we should see what kind of services we get out of it.
And how long is $75 gonna raise out of?
That too.
He's back tomorrow, right?
75 a night. That would be way too much. 75 a night is I'll spare the 2 cents to shoot him in the back.
Well,
That's for a month.
a bullet is cheaper.
Well, all right. So Mo says to the cop, "Well, my friend, there's been a lot of exchanging of jobs around here. Hey, maybe tell me, you had an arrangement with McManus. What services were you rendering to him precisely?
Well, like I said, I kept an eye on the place, made sure that nobody from out of town, so to speak, federal agents or what have you, dropped in unannounced or bothered the place, and I'd give him a phone call whenever a raid was going to go down. Of course, that never happened to occur, but still, it's best to have your ducks in a row.
Interesting that you should mention it, because just a few nights ago we had a couple gentlemen gate crash, if you will, and it may or may not be the king's business, but is this something that you could do something about?
Specifically for my own reference, are you referencing to that when McManus was alive and like that agent was crashing the joint or something?
Oh
yeah,
no,
or
I
you're
mean in
talking
the
about the
fellas Kaufman's people came and tried to rub us out.
Oh, right.
Well, the place was pretty much shuttered for the last week or so I wasn't keeping an eye on the joint. I figured that McManus closed up, or worse, maybe he died. I'm glad to hear that's not the case, though. And he has another drink.
Fair enough assumption, I suppose.
He always did want to go to the Caribbean, you know. Alright, I don't presume to speak for the group, but yeah, out of character, I think that he's obviously got us between a rock and a hard place. What are we gonna do? Say no? So...
I say we get rid of him for tonight and then go talk to the king in the morning. Or
Yeah.
even later that night.
It's obvious that...
Actually, yeah, let's send the cops on their way, and the king's representative that's with us tonight, he can take the money and the message.
testimony.
Yeah.
And yeah, because this is obviously something we're gonna have to do. Because opening McManus may have made more problems for us than just keeping the deed.
Gosh, if we had just opened up like 3 doors down, I don't think this would have been a problem. Like this,
No, you guys
everybody,
would have been smooth sailing, but...
yeah,
Obviously.
everybody wants this building.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Mo's gonna say it. Mo's just kind of gonna walk over to the stack of cash, start like licking his thumb and peeling off bills, and says,
You're getting your dirty spit all over me, Cash.
And so you slide him out $75, and then he takes it, and he flicks it a little bit with his thumb as if he didn't watch you just count it out. And then he tucks it into his breast pocket, and he says, "Now you boys have yourself a hell of a night, and if there's anything I can do for you, you just give me a phone call."
Of course, you and each of your men, you each have a credit for 1 drink at the bar on your way out.
Much appreciated. And then he tips his hat as he puts it back on, and he says, "I'll be back next week."
so
$75 a week is not bad, though.
not
Actually-
bad, but what's it gonna... I don't know, what are we gonna do? We obviously have to stop paying out to someone, or we'll be worse off than McManus.
Yeah, let's.
What you have to consider, though, is that
We need to pull up the king's representative, see how much of the business he knows, and to see how.
the police are mostly in the king's pocket, but this guy seemed to have a personal arrangement with McManus.
Yeah, as
Even-
many people did.
Even if just a beat cop, like he does have the ability to, file the kind of report that we don't want being made on the location.
So, it sounds to me like we're telling the king, and this guy is gonna either get rubbed out or reassigned to a very distant city.
Got transferred to Houston.
Yeah.
Transferred to the boonies.
Maybe he'll get transferred
He
to
went
the
to-
Caribbean.
They put him on parking tickets.
Yeah, if we're lucky, he'll go to the great beat in the sky.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, do you say something to that effect?
No, not at all.
Because Eddie,
let's let them leave in one piece. We can let the king get his hands
Yeah,
dirty.
the king's made it very apparent that that's under his umbrella of operations. So.
The police protection, you're already paying the king for this, so
So,
whether you want your own personal cop is entirely up to you.
do they immediately leave, or are they having themselves a drink before they see themselves out?
Oh, they step outside, and the older guy that you just talked to, Declan, he smacks the younger officer on the back with his nightstick because he's busy, harassing some young lady. And then they step out, and Declan doesn't himself partake.
So, Mo is gonna kind of go downstairs and try and get the attention of what's his name that came in on behalf of the king.
He did not give you his name.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, he's just gonna scam the crowd, kind of get his attention, and give him like a gesture, like upstairs.
All right, so he will, straighten his tie, and he'll collect the money that he's fleeced from other people by pretending to be bad at pool, and then he'll come upstairs.
And Mo's gonna say, "What the fuck, man? The king. What do you? I mean." When we all, he's on an out of character note. I want it to be understood that obviously we kind of understand this was a personal thing, but he's gonna make it look like this wasn't a personal thing because this guy we're talking to may not necessarily know. The king wouldn't know of all of McManus's arrangements, so he's gonna kind of use this as diplomatic leverage to be all like, "Yeah, what the fuck, man? We were paying for protection. This is what we get." As far as we're concerned, maybe we should be renegotiating until the king takes care of our problem here, right? It happened right in front of his face. So yeah, Mo is gonna be all like, "What the fuck, man? We were paying for protection. The king's protection. You saw this with your own eyes. What the fuck? You tell me why we're paying to the king when we're getting raided while his own collectors are here sniffing our ass."
Having learned my lesson about mouthing off, maybe let's not call into question why we're paying the king. We all know why we're paying the king. I think the question should be directed more to the vein of, who the fuck do these cops think they are coming into our business when they know who we kick up to?
A wise move. Okay, so yeah, let's try and make it go like that. Like, you see what's happening here? Look at these cops. No respect, man. What's going on here? These cops show up like a couple hours after you're here.
The guy shrugs and he says, "I don't know what to tell you. Sounds like you've got a problem. Now then, are we getting about close to paying that protection money, or do I?
Are we close to closing time? Because
so you're probably within an hour or so.
Okay, within an hour, we probably already have our final figures. There might be another sale or two, but
for the most
part, people are trying to sober up so they don't get nabbed on the way home.
Right.
And speaking of, go ahead and hand me a D6.
Here you are.
Okay. So that's a great roll, but unfortunate for you. Tonight was pretty hopping. It picked up for a number of hours there when people, realized, hey, the place really is back. They're open, and, it's been a week since we've been able to hit up McManus's, so, yeah, you guys actually managed to bring up $3,200. So, the 10% protection for the night.
What day of the week is it?
Friday night.
Now
Saturday morning. So, yeah, that's $320.
As far...
and you're not going to have many more $3,200 nights here.
Now, obviously this is probably more diplomatic pushing than I should do, but what if we told this guy, yeah, that cop walked off with $75 off of the king's take. Talk to him if you want it.
Ooh. I actually kind of like that idea. Let's dock the king's cut $75.
Because this fucking guy came in and took his money. Hey, that was his money. It was off the table. We were gonna pay him. This was a great night. But
so you're only gonna give the guy $245?
if that's 75 minus
yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? So yeah, Sure, let's go with that. Well, it sounds humorous and
Well, the worst
definitely
that could
won't end
happen
us.
is we wind up in a hole in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, the worst that could
That's
happen is
the
5 guys
worst.
with Tommy guns knocking down
Yeah.
the front door next night. So
I mean, Eddie and I could take out 2, maybe 3 of those 5 guys.
But
But
at the
none,
point where
depending
we're-
on the circumstances.
right,
At the
so
point
we
where-
could get cut down the minute we show resistance.
At the point where we're exchanging gunfire with the King's goons, I'm pretty sure that's already game over.
Yeah, he probably has more guns than we do, and more
That
people
is-
to hold those guns.
That is a certainty.
But you know what? What's the worst that can So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm willing to say that and just get either get us rubbed out or someone the cop rubbed out. Someone's getting rubbed out. So, unless you have further objection, I'm going to just cut the money and minus that 75 and say, you know what? We pay the king for protection. This asshole walks in here like he owns the joint, trying to fleece us. What are we supposed to do between a rock and a hard place? As far as I'm concerned, that's the king's problem. You saw him. You got his name. Mo gives him his name even, or whatever identification he gave. I'm pretty sure he gave us his name as the officer.
The officer did, yeah.
You want his money? He has $75 of the king's money. That would have been going out with you right now if the king had given us the protection this place deserves.
And let's not mention that you, a representative of the man who offers us this protection, just let this happen right in front of his own eyes.
So the thin Irishman, he looks at the money that you've handed him, and then he turns to Fievel Roth in the corner with, the books. He says, "What was the night's take?" And Fievel says, $3,200 roughly. So.
Yeah. No, Mo's being very forthright with this. He's going to tell him exactly what they made. Exactly. He's not hiding the fact that he is keeping he is getting 75 less because that cop took 75 of the king's money.
And the man looks back to you and he says, $75 more. And he holds his hand out.
Take it up with the cop that walked in here while we're paying you for protection.
Oh, I'm taking it up with you. $75 more.
How far are we willing to escalate this, Killian?
I'm willing to pistol whip him right now.
What is the worst that could happen?
With the number of us for the moment, we could riddle the guy full of holes and no one could stop it from happening. There would definitely be retaliation, but
Are you willing to start a war with Connor over $75?
That's the better
no,
question.
that I guess that is the question. Yes.
The $75 war, they'll call it.
Lordy.
I mean, you're the kind of boss. You're kind of the boss here, Killian. I will defer to you. I'm just the muscle, I almost went to college, but here I am.
I asked the representative, "Would you like a drink?"
And he kind of looks to you,
And he
looks to Mo, and he looks to Eddie behind the desk,
I'd like
with
some.
his hands under the desk, and he says, "A drink then." And he sits down, and he reaches for one of your cigarettes.
I very obviously and deliberately go and fetch the glass that I slap to the floor that he put a cigarette butt in, and I pour some whiskey in that and put it in front of him.
With the butt still in it.
Yes.
Does someone want to hold the kitten?
Give me the kitten. I'll hold the kitten.
You
So
see,
you wanna
lad,
hold the
there's
kitten?
a certain expression that I'm sure it doesn't matter where you're from or who you are, you probably heard the idea or something to the same extent. Don't shit where you eat, lad.
And he looks at the whiskey with the cigarette butt floating in it.
It's like, you're acting as a liaison between a very powerful person and a very profitable business. It would be a shame for both parties to screw you out of what's yours. Now, I'd be willing to give another 75 out of my own pocket right now. But it ain't going to the king.
And he kind of lets the gears turn in his head. As if, he's trying to understand that what you're offering him is a bribe. Which, if I understand correctly, is what you're offering him.
And just to, make it more cryptic and symbolic, I'll pour a fresh drink in a clean glass and set it right next to his ashtray drink.
Do you want to let them hold the kitten?
Yeah.
Sorry, Rick, interrupting.
So he will take...
There's always time for kittens.
So he will take the fresh drink, and he says, so 245 is Connor's cut for the night then.
I believe that's the numbers we gave. And I go ahead and reach into my pocket and pull 75 out for the young man.
And if he has a concern regarding this, I think you can give a personal testimony as to the fact that a certain officer, what's his name?
Declan Carroll.
A certain officer, Declan Carroll, held his profitable business under a barrel, right under the king's own nose, and squeezed us. You saw as much, did you not, my friend?
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, there's
As far as I know, you only made 2,400 tonight. And he pockets the 245 that you gave him.
That doesn't necessarily handle the problem, though.
And he pockets the 75. Well, yeah, fuck that, though. That's your problem.
Yeah,
he's
that's
happy.
pretty much what he's done. But
whatever, I guess.
I grab one of my cigarettes and then make a very clear point of pocketing the rest of them.
And then he heads out with the money.
Hmm.
And then after he leaves, Eddie turns to the two of you and he says, "So am I killing this guy or what?"
Well,
I mean, let's think of it this way. What's going to happen? He's going to tell him that the king that he got it, that we only made, what was it, 280 tonight, which is fine. But then what's going to happen when this guy comes in asking for more money?
I think
We can't exactly kill the guy, but we have a lot of problems stewing here.
I think Declan Carroll has a retirement in his near future. Because
The cop.
the king's representative definitely wanted nothing to do with that. And he was even willing to take my bribe and, let me put my hand in his pocket a little bit. So, I mean, the guy's willing to play ball with me, but he still won't do anything about the beat cop. Also, he's just a beat cop.
That is true.
We could find him at the outskirts of the neighborhood and have some ruffians club him to death. Have them take his fucking nightstick and copper badge. Like, we can make it look like a chance thing.
We could. Alright, so...
And if the king has a problem with it, we have that representative to float down the river.
Well, sounds like a plan enough for me. It's not like Mo's afraid of getting his hands dirty.
And, even if we can scapegoat this representative and the king doesn't like it, then we can just tell the king, stop sending fucking bagmen to do your work for you, come personally next time.
Oh, yeah, the king's gonna come personally to collect from one of his joints.
No, he's not. He's gonna pick representatives who actually speak with his voice, not just some douche who will take $75 and walk away.
Okay.
So let's see.
Plus, that bribe alone puts that representative in our pocket in a way. We can blackmail him now with the king.
Are you guys feeling like taking a short break then?
Sure.
All right, let's go ahead and do that.
Oh, I just got back here today from a town not far away. I've been looking across the way, 'cause you left an old top grave, and it struck me mighty strange. Orphan and awful game. If you think those folks are below, there's a lot that you don't know. All the Quakers, the shoulder shakers, back in Quaker town. Things are upside down. The tears bumped up, how we hit 'em. Every wiggle that makes you giggle at that meeting hall. Bands are playing, folks are swaying, feel the loving brothers fall. Brother Halsey with the Halsey, you remember him. He's the man that first began to teach 'em how to give. Oh, the home of William Penn won't be quite the same again. 'Cause all the Quakers and shoulder shakers down in Quaker town. It's the most peculiar sight, and it doesn't seem quite right to see all the Quakers dancing way into the night. When the curfew stops to ring, everybody starts to sing, and they grab their dancing shoes when they hum a Quaker blues. All the Quakers, the shoulder shakers, back in Quaker town. Things are upside down. The tears bump in 'em, how it hit 'em. Every sister is quite a twister of a wicked knee. Baby, brother, dad, and mother, feel the mountain shivery. Brother Morgan at the organ, jazz is all alone. He's simply great to watch them slow their Quaker roll. You can see how Mr. Burns just a foxtrot down to church. 'Cause all the Quakers and shoulder shakers down in Quaker town.
I think,
Yeah, so,
We just sent a shit ton more money out the door.
yep.
well, not a shit ton, only like, just shy of $400.
If nothing,
a crap ton.
If nothing else, one small victory is that the bag boy will tell the king that we made less than we did, so we can expect the tax to be less than it should be. And from that point on, all we have to do is knock off a few people, right?
Well, see, though, the nightly tax, though, will only be $245 to Connor, but then he expects a bribe.
Yep,
So
this
the
guy
bag-
expects a bribe.
So the bag boy, you haven't really, lessened your tax, you've just kind of diversified it.
Yeah.
I feel like we have bought a little wiggle room from him, though.
This guy, you've at least learned this guy is willing to
Don't play
go
ball.
against Connor if his own interests align with yours. So, and then of course there's Declan Carroll, the beat cop, who seemed nice enough, but still he did shake you down for $75.
I'm thinking the little accountant bag boy might have shown up early just for those reasons. He might have had his own ulterior thoughts, because usually it's the end of the night sort of thing. So maybe he thought I'd get there early.
If he's always been the representative for McManus Manor, then he knows this dick has been coming around once a week to shake down McManus. He knows that this other arrangement exists.
Yeah.
I don't see any way around it. He knows it's going on.
He knows
And
what's going on. He either doesn't care. Connor maybe knows what's going
He's
on.
quite
Who knows?
blatantly stated he doesn't care.
Yeah.
So
He's pretty clear about his disinterest in whatever you have going on with Declan.
So I need Eddie to buy me a hand grenade.
Back to the hand
Alright,
grenade.
so
What can not be solved by a hand grenade, right?
Well, lots of things, but I mean,
I think
it's a
that this-
contingency, not a foreplan.
Okay.
So you go to Eddie then. I'm assuming that night after everything's shop's closed up.
Oh, of
everything's
course.
wiped
As soon as
down.
everybody else has walked away, like, hey Eddie, I need a ride home. Also, hey, you got a hand grenade?
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm going that way. A hand grenade? What the fuck do you need a hand grenade for?
I don't need one. I want one.
Okay. Then again, that begs the question: what do you want the hand grenade for?
Oh.
Nope, I haven't got it in me. I was hoping to bullshit a quick backstory to be like, hey, remember this time?
An episodic war story.
Yeah.
Just every episode we're going to go into a flashback to World War One.
Where do the other speaks get their booze from?
The whiskey they get from Killian.
Part of it's from us.
Oh.
In the prelude backstory, I think I said that there were like 4 families that are producing, and the Killians or the Kellys produce the higher quality, and they've been around long enough to actually have aged their product before selling it, so that makes them
You've been doing this.
preferential.
The family's been doing this for their own sake for years prior to Prohibition.
We pretty much immigrated with a keg of whiskey hidden under mommy's skirts.
So there are other families in town that produce whiskey. There's probably someone in town who makes beer.
They're moonshiners.
Moonshiners, things like that.
Bathtubs.
Moonshiners and 1 month brews.
And then Connor himself imports other stuff from breweries, moonshiners, and other places outside of the city.
He brings the variety to the city.
So I would say half of the liquor in town comes from Kelly and the other 3 families, and the other half comes through Connor.
Okay.
Yeah, because the hand grenade just made me think of...
Actually, I feel like our financials are easily solved.
Okay.
I'm going to go check in on the distillery. And since...
Are we dropping the hand grenade thing then?
Oh, no, that I still want a hand grenade. Drop
how
in on
does
the
that scene resolve?
The hand grenade is from my own state of mind.
As a character, as a player, I know where you're going with that. How does the scene resolve? You're in the middle of talking to this guy for a hand grenade.
True. So I guess I should address it in character.
You still have the factory.
The textiles,
Textile.
Let me put it this way. I just want to ensure that if anybody ever has a gun to my head, that I can give them ample reason not to pull the trigger.
The best bang for their buck.
I don't know how comfortable I am providing you with a suicide grenade as a threat.
You know it won't be used except for the worst of times.
I'll see what I can do. And Eddie will see what he can do about getting you a hand grenade
You're
to
a good
carry
mate,
around
Eddie.
in your jacket pocket.
You know, like some people play with the little balls in their hands, and this guy's juggling hand.
It's like a stress grenade, you know?
Yeah.
Just something that you can, play with the pin a little bit when you're nervous.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Press the handle, pull the pin, throw the pin in the air, catch it, put it back in, release the handle.
So you go to check on Tegan at the distillery.
Mhm.
All right. The shipment went out for the weekend on Thursday, I think it was. We said that your regular weekly shipment
Yeah, Wednesdays
is
or Thursdays.
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
I imagine both nights.
Probably Wednesday, half of them get done. Thursday, the other half get done.
Thursday is when we tend to the King's properties.
Yeah, and then Friday and Saturday is kind of a recoup. Get everything ready and cleaned and ready. For ready and so on.
Half days on Fridays.
Half days, yeah. So she's there. She's doing the numbers or whatever and moving things around a little bit for cleaning's sake. What are you checking in on?
My dear loving cousin. How are things?
No. Killian, you lazy bastard. How are things?
So, new order coming down on the operation. We're adding 10% to the price of everything, except for the King's shipments. The King gets his at his regular price. Everybody else, we're bumping up 10%.
Well, it's not going to make a lot of friends.
I'm not in the business of making friends.
And then she takes the clipboard and she kind of, runs some numbers and, rolls her eyes back a little bit to think and calculate and then says, all right, that's feasible.
Well, I haven't had breakfast yet, so let's have a drink.
Then she, wheels a cake out and punk fills up some, little metal tankards they have laying around for breakfasts. and yeah, you drink your breakfast with Tegan.
This
All right,
is
did you come alone or did you bring anyone?
This is breakfast.
I don't know if Mo had anything better to do. I don't think he
Did you
did.
bring the partners?
Well, Eddie needs to go get me a goddamn hand grenade. So,
okay, so Eddie's off doing
and
his
he
thing.
probably has to go check on his own warehouse as well, because he's
got
the
stuff
final
going on.
shipment house.
Yeah, where everything the orders get separated and things are stored.
He's the crossroad of the operation,
Just to keep things not all in one basket.
because he's the only one sane enough to balance that many tasks at a time.
Which really, that property you could be using to do something else if you wanted to add on. Because right now it's kind of just a waypoint where you make the stuff
It's Eddie's property, so it's up to him what he does with this spare room.
Okay, and then in the textile factory, you kind of want to get a counterfeiting thing set up there, but really you have a lot of options. If you wanted to start dabbling in some other kind of, I mean, even just a brewery to make cheap beer. Because the
Beer
textile
operation is very limited.
Because textiles and the stink that comes off of them are great for covering all kinds of production. So counterfeiting, booze.
As far as bootlegging goes, the textile factory isn't suitable for the whiskey. Because, I mean, that's our top product. We have to keep that in the house all to its own.
That brand has to stay pure.
But a textile plant, we could do you mind?
Yeah, well, the main concern with counterfeiting is just that already booze is a federal issue. And it's kind of dangerous to get into the business of
Counterfeiting at
money.
the time was easy to do.
It's
I
easy
mean,
to
relatively compared to now.
Not
It's
the
easy
paper
to do,
hands?
but you have to be careful what illegal businesses you dabble in, because the right combinations to the government will make them come down on you like a hammer.
Actually,
PCs aren't in the business of playing safe, my friend.
right. Do we feel like having a partnership board meeting? Because I think we probably should like sit down and discuss the pros and cons of counterfeiting. Because we already have one felonious operation going on. We should probably try and aim for misdemeanor for our side projects.
What a
Because
great name.
two felonious things, and then there's bound to be an agent who's going to get promotion off of us at some point.
It's gonna be great. As a player, the way I see it is, if you're not gonna play dangerous, what's the point? As a character, I'll go, fast forward, I don't know what circumstance we're supposed to be meeting under, are you finished with your accountant business? So, maybe the next day we have, a meeting or something like that to discuss things.
Regardless of what Mo and Eddie have going on the side, as far as bootlegging goes, Friday and Saturday are the slowest days of the week. So, at least in regards to Killian, a very opportunist to have, meetings on the weekends.
Sure.
Deal with
So-
slow business then.
Eddie doesn't have any businesses of his own. He's talked about saving up money and wanting to do different things, but shit keeps on happening. So, but he's definitely...
This hand grenade business, man.
Yeah, he's mentioned before that he wants to get a legitimate operation going that's purely legitimate, that's not a front, something that he can fall back on, that's just, this is totally on the level.
Retreat to when the Supreme Court starts coming down.
Exactly. I'm just a simple candlestick maker. I don't know why everybody's bothering me. That kind of thing.
Yeah, those are my guns in the back room, but they're legally purchased.
But what, a man ain't allowed to have 500 guns all of a sudden?
The Second Amendment protects my rights.
But yeah, so So yeah, I'm sure that the partners, Mo, you've just recently been promoted. Really, the only thing you have that's yours is the protection from Lorenzo.
Yes.
And you kick 2/3 of that over to the partnership basically and take a cut from it. But kind of the protection business sort of got moved to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of your thing. If you want to expand on that, you want to start getting protection money from other places and dealing out loans. That's your third of the business, basically.
Killian would strongly encourage you to start shaking down the other speakeasies.
Mm-hmm.
Could certainly be a good idea.
Especially ones that don't know you're part of the Kelly partnership.
And actually, something I didn't even think of until now. You need your own crew. I mean, Killian's got cousins out the ass. Eddie has neighborhood Italians and guineas.
Most of the cousins are uninvolved.
You need some wops going on here.
I do have a huge pool of people to be like, you know what? They're getting called into the family business.
If you need some loner mooks, you can talk to Killian or Eddie, but you need to get some mugsies of your own.
Just did that with Alistair.
He's the Jew side of it here. I mean,
the Jews are an untapped market. So.
Exactly. When you talk about protection and issues there, because everybody knows everybody hates them.
Maybe 5 will know some hard-nosed Jews that you can get working for you.
Or
not to offend the people out there on the internet, but it's 1922, so come on.
If people are offended by us, then they probably don't play enough cool paper games of their own.
Unsubscribe now.
Go get offensive.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're thinking about what I meant by the Jewish aspect. You got a lot of jewelers and other that might need their own, that need their own protection because of like the Connor types and things like that.
On that note, I want to say that is a stereotype that actually has historical settings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Jews pre-World War II, the reason why Jews were, being accused of controlling all the money in the banks is because, well, what the hell else are they going to do if you don't allow them to own land?
Yes.
You don't allow them to own land, they still want to make businesses.
But as far as
Mo
goes, you do come from kind of a well-to-do background, don't you?
Yeah.
So maybe your family lives in like a mixed Italian Jewish community, sort of part of the city. So there could be an untapped market.
Because from the outside, you can't tell the difference.
Sometimes that is true. So there could be a kind of an untapped market there of Jewish businesses and people who kind of aren't involved in the seedier element. Because most of your family is definitely not. You're the only black sheep really involved in the criminal thing. So
pretty much. So that's a thought. So sure, let's do it.
And creating the false sense that they need protection. You could have some certain types of accidents happen that they suddenly feel the need that they need to be protected.
Oh, if they don't know the association between Mo and the other two partners, Eddie and Killian could show up and break a few windows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing, we wouldn't even take any cash from them. Just show up, cause some trouble, let them know that there's an element of danger in the neighborhood.
Absolutely. So sure, let's do a scene revolving
Hope you don't mind some of my ideas here.
So
let's say that while Killian is talking to his accountant, Mo is going realizes, might be time to expand the protection racket. So he heads back to his old neighborhood from his old kind of preppy up and coming suburbanite type area of the city. And he's gonna drive around and try and single out businesses that he does not know that are already under the king's protection, and maybe see what he can do. Give me an idea of what I find. Like I'm just running.
Just kind of businesses that probably aren't paying any racket money.
For the time being.
Okay. I'm gonna say that there is. Give me a die here. Let's see what we got. What we got in the old neighborhood. 6. Okay, so there's a jewelry store that does pretty well, caters to the higher class.
What's its name? Would I know it? Would Mo know it?
Goldman's. Goldman's is
of course.
because it's 1922. I mean,
Either that or Cantor's.
Yeah, it's Goldman's. Goldman's is a very nice upscale kind of jewelry place.
A name you can trust.
A name you can trust. It's this old school Jew who kind of runs things. He's got, your father got a watch from Goldman's when you were like 12 years old. You got one when you were going off to college, a nice pocket watch from Goldman's.
Depending
It's just
on
a nice...
Going off to almost college.
It's a nice, classy joint.
He
In the
dropped
last,
out first semester, probably.
In the last few years, it's kind of fallen on harder times, like everybody has.
Yeah.
It's just, the economy's sort of in a slump in post-war America, but things will turn around. Goldman's always survives.
Of course. So, he's gonna pull up somewhere near Goldman's Jewelry or whatever, and he's gonna step outside, walk inside, little bell chimes or some shit, and see what's he see? Who's running the who's the store? Who's at the desk? Right?
Old man Goldman himself is here, Gary Goldman. He's sitting behind the counter. He's got a kind of a scrappier looking guy who's got kind of a scar from the corner of his mouth on the right side up to his ear. The guy looks like he's already a member of the criminal element, but he's standing there kind of shifting a little bit as Goldman is looking at a diamond ring that the guy's brought in. And Goldman, he's got a black vest that's open. He's got the shirt unbuttoned at the top. It's a hot day. So he's kind of sitting there, sleeves rolled up, balding on top, a little bit more gray and white than you remember. I mean, time goes by, but he's got his eyepiece there and he's looking at the diamond, and it doesn't really seem like he likes what he sees. He's probably not going to give this hood some money.
All right, so Mr. Mo goes, says, Gary, how you doing? Do you remember me? It's me, Mo. How you been?
And he takes the eyepiece out and he looks up. He's like, "Who's that? Come over. I can't see so good."
Mo walks on over.
Goldman's, I guess, is more like a seedy pawn shop. All of a sudden,
And he says, it's me, Mo. You remember old man Durante's son?
Oh yeah, I remember Mo Durante, fancy college boy. Doesn't like to be called Elmo anymore. And then he hands the ring back to the hood and he says, "Get out of here! I don't want this trash."
And he said, Mo says, yeah, it's been ages. How's things going around here? Start up some bullshit.
Terrible. Look around. I got no customers.
Man, things. The economy's hard on everybody. This. Things are just hard for everyone. I have to. As a player, I'm not sure how to take this into the direction of extortion.
You grab him around the throat, and you slam his
Kabam!
head into the glass counter.
Where's my money?
If you're gonna be a bad guy, you gotta be a bad guy.
God damn it! All right, so
you could go the sugar and honey route with is there anything I can do for you that
Compliment the place, let them know it would be a shame if anything bad were to happen to it.
Absolutely. So Mo's
You ain't got any bars on your windows, I noticed.
Yeah, Mo's gonna say, there's a lot of poor people out these days. Everyone's losing their jobs. It's just heartbreaking. You never know at times like these when people get desperate and start taking things. Have you ever thought about? And he gives him kind of a hard, knowing glance. Ever thought about having somebody to ensure your security around here?
And he adjusts his spectacles a little bit and kind of looks at you like, "Oh, I see what the fuck's going on here."
Is that how it is, huh?
He says, "Well, it's a nice neighborhood. I'm not too worried about security, to be honest."
You know, that's nice. That's nice. You know, some things never change, but, you know, a lot of things do. I hope things keep going well for you, sir. But, you know, you can reach me at any time. Here's my number. And if things ever happen to... if the neighborhood ever goes to shit, I'll be here for you. And he's going to leave and make note to talk to Killian to... We gotta
arrange for some roughing up to remind him that
It's not a
security
problem.
is-
We gotta
Not a
make this
problem.
a shit neighborhood, guys.
Okay, so all right. So he takes the number, and have a nice day, etc. Killian, you're busy, with your accounting and Tegan and breakfast and so on. Well, you wanted to go to
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner all in one glass.
Killian to put the moves on Old Man Goldman, or
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm gonna be going. Mo's gonna... I don't know, later that day, I suppose, after he finishes up feeling out how things are going at his old neighborhood, he'll go and meet with Killian and be all like, I feel like there's a little more money that could be made around the old 24th Street. Great up and coming area. From when I was younger, the king didn't... There's not much for the king to worry about there, and I have reason to believe some of my old associates could use some protection. Have you thought about, Killian, maybe you could arrange that they really need some protection?
I catch the drift. I think I could be a little persuasive in that manner.
Absolutely. He has my number. Who knows? Maybe I'll be the first guy he calls.
Are there any ground rules you want to set now? I mean, of course, I'm not going to kill the man. You can't make money off of a dead man.
Absolutely. I trust your discretion and feel you will do whatever is necessary. In other words, yeah, do whatever. I'm not good enough at this shit to set any ground rules.
don't kill him, but whatever gets the money.
Do you have any requests? Should I make... Let me address this in character. Should I make specific mention of where he should go for some help, or should I act as a third party?
I feel that he will know exactly who to turn to in his time of need. So in other words, don't make him cry Elmo, but make him cry Elmo.
So what time does his little shop close?
Jewelry shop, I guess probably early evening or something like
Probably
that.
like 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably, late afternoon, early evening.
So Killian, are you going to go to Goldman's alone or bring anybody?
I'll give Eddie a call.
Okay.
See if
You're
he's
done
up
with
for
that hand grenade shit, man. I gave you a whole afternoon.
Well, we'll see if he wants in.
So Eddie picks up the phone and he says, Eddie Agresta speaking.
Eddie, it's Killian.
Killian, you old so-and-so. How is you?
Not bad at all, mates. I was wondering, I got a little side project on behalf of a mutual friend of ours. I was wondering if you wanted to come and have a little fun.
Oh, well, you know me. I'm always down for some fun.
Well, great. You know Goldman's shop.
Oh, yeah, that upscale place up in the hills.
How about you meet me across the street from there at, let's say, 6:30 in the evening?
I'll see you there.
Oh, and, you, I feel like he probably has a hint, but I should say it anyways. You might want to bring a little bang with you.
Oh. Well, when do I not have a little bang with me?
I got myself covered. You just make sure that you're properly equipped for the activity.
No problem. I'll be there at 6:30 with the boom boom. And he hangs up.
Click.
So 6:30 rolls around. Goldman says, there's no cars on the street. There's nobody really. I mean, there's window shoppers kind of walking to and fro or coming home from, restaurants and things like that. But for the most part, things are quieting down. It's a early to bed kind of community. Goldman is in there alone.
Excellent.
And he's kind of wiping down the counters and getting things ready for close.
So I tell Eddie, let's catch him right as he's making his way to the door.
So you stand outside and you have a cigarette and kind of watch the foot traffic come and go. And then,
we pretend we're not watching him, but we're watching him.
yeah, just standing on the corner.
He may or may not get the vibe, and it really doesn't matter.
And then at 7 o'clock,
Watching the
you see Goldman turn out the lights inside the store, and he heads for the front door.
Throw our butts to the gutter.
You flick your cigarette butts away, and you turn around on your heels and head inside.
Eddie, do you mind, lock the door, if you will, and flip the sign.
You head inside, and Eddie turns around. He flips the sign to closed and locks the door, and Goldman, as he's, bringing his keys out of his pocket to lock the door on his way out, sees you enter. He says, I'm closed for the day, boys.
I immediately draw on him a 1911 of a ridiculous size for a private civilian, pointed right at his dome. I even make the obligatory, cock the hammer.
He throws his hands up, still having the keys and the key ring in one of his hands, and he says, "Oh, Mother God, what do you want?"
How about you take your little keys and you turn right around and you open the register for me?
And he turns around and he starts making his way back to the counter that he just came from. Eddie stands there at the door and he draws the blinds.
I follow him. I don't know what he has behind that counter. I should probably get some eyes back there.
He, fumbling with the keys a little bit, he opens up the register drawer and I'm gonna say he has $400 in the register at the end of the day, and he lays it out for you. He says, "Look, that's all I got, son."
That's all you got, son. This is a jewelry store.
Nah, if I really wanted to, I could start filling my pockets right now and walk out the door with all you got. Is this really all you got?
That's all I got, just that and the jewelry.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and pistol whip him right in the temple.
In the temple.
Just cause.
He, oh God! He falls forward on the glass counter and slumps to the ground. And he, groans in pain and holds his bleeding forehead.
I take his wallet and the cash. Oh, and his keys. I take his keys, too.
Oh, God.
Hey, really, it's going to encourage him to do one of two things. Get some protection, or change his fucking locks. Or both, hopefully.
And as you're heading towards the front door, I guess, Eddie, seeing a pocket watch in one of the glass cases in the front window, decides to help himself. He opens it and he holds it up to his ear to, you got to hear the clockwork and check the time. And
that's a good idea you got there, Eddie. And I help myself to some of the merchandise, too. Something that the guy is bound to miss. As soon as he looks over his stock, he knows what was taken.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some fine rhinestone bracelets, some emerald necklaces, pendants, things like that. So.
I'll take some emerald. Some treasured emerald.
Give yourself some fancy green.
Yeah.
And you can hear him moaning and groaning in pain behind
and
the
then,
counter.
just to be a dick, I knock something over as we leave.
And then Eddie turns the sign back over and opens the door for you to head out first. And he says, "Have a nice day."
Yeah, you too. Thanks for joining the fun.
So I'm gonna say about 10, 12 minutes later, Mo, your phone is ringing.
Hello, this is Durante.
Mo, it's terrible. These two hoods, they knocked over the store.
Oh my lord, what? Mr. Goldman, are you... The 24th Street was been the best place in this entire shitty city.
It used to be such a nice neighborhood.
These kids these days, did you get their faces? What did they look like?
There were two white-looking fellas. One was Irish, I think, and the other, I don't know.
My friend, I'm so sorry this has happened to you. Listen to me. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Let me get out the door here. I'll be right there. See what I can. I'll be right there. Make sure you're okay. All right, you're okay. Are you all right?
They hit me in my forehead. There's blood everywhere.
Oh my lord. All right, I'll be there in 20. You just hang in there, old man. I'll be right over.
You get off the phone and have a cigarette.
I just got the mental image. I got the mental image of Robin Williams' brother and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh my god.
I'm so proud of you.
And yeah, so needless to say,
honey, I don't think I have the strength.
She's an old woman.
It was a mistake choosing this voice.
So needless to say, Mo is gonna go down there, act all good cop on him, and seal the deal and say, something to the effect of, "Hey, don't you worry. Look, I got friends in high places. I'll make sure this doesn't happen again. Just don't you worry."
Sounds like some of Connor's boys, huh?
Unfortunately, it takes a little lubricant to make things easy in this business. You understand? I'll need, and God in my soul, I don't know, 15...
Well, he'll tell you that $400 was taken out of the register, which is what he kind of keeps on hand. So it's a pretty ritzy joint.
Mhm.
Did they leave you with anything?
And what's missing?
And yeah, so Mo will just say, look, I'll handle this for the time being. You're my old friend. It's the least I could do for you. But in the future, I'm gonna need about 15% of your earnings to keep things lubricated. You understand?
Mo, 15%. And then he kind of, with a cloth to his forehead, looking at, the knocked over whatever the
Bloody
hell.
cloth.
And everything. And he says, "I've got no choice. 15%.
In this city, what you gonna do, my friend? Things are going to hell in a handbasket. It's either your money or your security these days. Tell you, but at the very least, this won't happen again, my friend. I'll take care of everything."
So we'll say $450 a week
My soul,
in protection money.
my soul.
So it's protection money is quite a more lucrative business than, you know, getting a loan from someone and then closing them out.
After all, why not let other people make your money, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so that deal has been sealed. That's all I got. What do we got from your end, Killian?
Well, Killian has to place a phone call to Mo, of course.
Oh yeah. So after everything's sealed up, and Mo is gonna give Killian a call. He'll be all like out in the parking lot at a payphone. I'm assuming they had those in those days. Did they?
They had call boxes, I think. Did they?
For free use of the public.
Because I know there were police phones that they could access through like a lock on the phone or something like that that the police had the key
Top
to.
Cat.
Something like that.
Does anybody else remember that one?
Top Cat, yeah.
Top Cat. They always hung out in the alley that had the police phone in it.
Yeah.
So the cop was always razzing them in every episode.
In 1889, William Gray is credited with inventing the payphone in the United States.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Good
There's at
enough for
least
me.
one. I mean, we're in a big city. There's more than that, definitely.
Okay, so somewhere, yeah.
Probably even one in your neighborhood.
I find a convenient payphone, and Mo places a call to Killian and says, the deal has been sealed. You can expect a higher contribution from here point out. I'll give you the details in person. And, you know, he's all forthright with it. He's going to later tell him making $450 a week from this guy and split it towards the rest.
Very good.
For their excellent contribution.
Do we have a designated like account for the partnership, or do we just kind of like deal with each other directly and be like, well, here's what the partnership needs, this is what it'll take, split equally? Or
you guys haven't really come up. So I mean, because prior the partnership was Mac, you and Eddie.
It seems like so far it's been whoever causes the trouble takes the brunt of the damage.
That's kind of the unwritten rule of it. There have never really been disputes before. So, I mean, like before Mac was your childhood friend, Eddie was your war buddy. You guys never had any ground that, you know, was worth fighting on. Or fighting over.
I guess we'll, I mean...
It's kind of, you know, if you
Mo's part of the partnership now, so we don't really need to know the specifics.
Yeah, Mo's good at his word. If Mo says, hey, I'm getting this much a week, I'm going to pay it to the partnership, then you trust him.
Alright, fair enough then. So yeah, he, over the phone, he just says, yeah, I'll give you the details, thank you for your contribution. Mr. Goldman has been, well taken care of now, and, splits the money at a later point. But anyway, but yeah, that's all I got for that scenes in mind for in the near future.
Then I don't have to do that voice anymore this session.
Alright.
So, moving on, you wanted to possibly see Connor, I think you were saying, about the going-ons, or did you just want his, his bag?
Oh, I want the hand grenade first.
Okay, you want a hand
grenade. No, the hand grenade is not integral to the meeting with the king.
Good.
But it is preferential to have it beforehand.
Okay,
How long are you willing to wait then? Because that might take a while. I'm no expert. And
roll a die of fate.
All right, the die of fate.
Because a hand grenade is one of those things that either is or isn't easily accessible.
We're post-war, they're around, but at this point people are probably disgusted by anything war-related and they don't want it.
I'm not even going to look it up. I just feel like the hand grenade is not something that was easily obtainable at any point. 4?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, yeah, Eddie, you know, the feelers are out there. He's looking. A hand grenade, though, today is not going to happen.
Okay. In that case, I'm not going to meet with Kavanaugh. I'm just going to give him a call.
Okay. So you're, you know, sitting at home in your easy chair, you know, having a drink, you know, whiskey, the good stuff. You give it a little bit of the nose. You know, sip and poop. And then you call him up. And you get, you know, some thug that works for him, and when you tell him who you are, he knows, of course, the name. And then Connor picks up the phone. Hello.
King.
Mr. Kelly?
The other night, I had a representative of yours come and take your cuts. I wanted to make sure that you got what was yours.
That would be Dickie. Dickie Diamonds. Yes, I got what was mine.
Did Dickie Diamonds happen to mention the unusual visitor that we had that evening?
No, he didn't say anything to me. An unusual visitor, you say?
I did. I had an officer of the law come into my establishment in full uniform and with a partner. And he presumed that I owed him a debt of protection. But the thing is I already have a great fella that I pay protection to.
The money that you pay to me for protection, which, if I recall, is 10% of your action, all of your action, on all fronts and all accords, covers police protection. So whoever this officer of the law is who shook you down, I don't know him.
So am I to assume that this is an individual that you have no sway over?
Oh, I'm sure I have sway over him, but I did not send him. So deal with him how you see fit, Mr. Kelly.
So, let me just be sure. This was an officer, Declan Carroll, that I met with. You've never heard the name.
And you hear a drawer kind of slide in the background a little bit, and you hear some shuffling, and you hear pages being flipped. And then after a few seconds, nobody that I know.
So it's not going to hurt you in any way if the man were to meet an unfortunate accident.
Early retirement for police officers is always a worrisome thing. It attracts unwanted attention. But as far as beat cops go, no, I don't know him.
Well, I thank you for the clarification, and I suspect that Officer Carroll won't be a problem for our mutual gains again.
That is very good to hear. Have a...
Click.
You fucking hung up on me!
He calls them back and says that.
No, I'm sure he knows. Now that it's been said, Killian is plotting a murder.
Alright. Nice.
Finally, I thought this session was gonna pass without any blood.
Seriously, we went entirely too long without
Our record is 8.
Let's see if we can beat it. Let's see if we can
Do you guys want to beat 8 tonight?
No. We would have to try pretty damn hard.
I'd have to throw some meat into the freaking grinder to make you guys beat 8 tonight.
Someone in the room.
It's kind of more of an intrigue session so far. Just a business as usual.
Oops, I'm sorry. I want to get my glasses.
So, planning the murder of a beat cop. Over $75 a week.
No,
Nope. Fuck this guy.
not over $75 a week. Over his audacity.
That's $75 of our money, right?
He shared a laugh with you. He shared the drink. Like,
He was a friendly guy, and soon he will be a dead friendly guy.
I don't understand the need to murder him.
Well, if we gave $75 to every asshole who came in here asking for some,
It ain't a charity, lads. We have to make money somewhere. We're not going to make it giving $75 to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who comes through the door.
We're gonna wind up like McManus at this rate.
I definitely understand you don't want to go down that path of paying every jerk who shows up and says that you owe him. But this is a cop.
What's the worst that could happen?
He's not one of the king's cops.
Oh,
Let's see.
And
How-
frankly, the king gave the green light, so any backlash,
But how much do you love the king?
none.
None at all?
I love him none amounts of love.
You love him not.
He
Is he-
ain't no friend of mine.
Is he possibly someone who will be dead by the end of this season?
Who, the king?
Yeah.
Either
If
Who knows?
Killian had his way, yes. But he ain't gonna pull that trigger without both of the partners agreeing.
Well, see, then you're probably going to want to start making some of your own cops.
it's gonna be total chaos, isn't it? Without a king.
Killian is not the kind of slow-rolling, easy-going guy to work for.
No.
I think a war at this point is inevitable.
Absolutely.
Things are cordial right now, and I think a diplomatic person could make the peace and be good friends with Connor. But Killian is not that kind of guy.
Would you be able to put your computer over there? So would that be fine if I switched it?
Yeah. I don't see Killian making many friends.
It's alright, Zeph, because whether we live or die, it was a grand old time.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we know, I mean, this could all end with you just in a hole. So...
We were outside the hole, right, for a little bit there.
Yeah,
Maybe-
what was it, session 2?
Yeah, no, I think that was like the fastest I have ever thought of a party getting to the hole, to that point where they're about to die, to where they're spitting in the dragon's face.
Yeah, session 2 almost ended in a grave, so...
What's
Whose drink is
Not
this?
ready to butt heads with the king.
Is this mom's drink?
Strategically, I feel like we could enjoy a long, fruitful relationship with the king,
If he keeps his hands out of your pockets.
which
isn't
we
gonna
already
happen.
drew the line in the sand. We just kind of need it to be in the stone for now. But I mean, most of the trouble came from Killian being a smartass.
Yeah.
So if Killian can respect the present business relationship, things should be smooth sailing.
Prior to the McManus situation, you guys had an excellent business partnership kind of going.
Oh,
So, I
he
mean,
he praised the Kelly whiskey.
Yeah, Kelly whiskey was like liquid gold. I mean, it was great stuff. I mean, he was buying it from you. Some of it he was sending out of town and making, his money back on. So
Everybody in the tri-state area knows the taste of our whiskey.
So it's kind of just, it's almost sad that things have gotten to this point where, like, he's butting heads with you. But you could definitely repair this relationship and enjoy a long-lasting, fruitful partnership if you weren't Killian, I feel. if you weren't the kind of Irish
I feel like
jackass.
Killian's probably healed up from the gut shot by now.
You're off the
so,
opium?
Yeah.
Off the
So
opium.
he'll be a little more level-headed, but I mean, he does have 2 points and mentally unstable,
I'm
so
not
he's bound to make mistakes from time to time.
I'm not gonna lie, he struck me more as prideful than outright mentally unstable. Like, he doesn't seem to be crazy, just like have a pride of the pride of the Irish.
Breaking Bad, Tuco.
Man, I actually never watched Breaking
Oh
Bad.
my gosh,
My only
okay.
exposure to this entire genre has been like The Sopranos and one or two like
Gotcha.
yeah. That's why I'm so bad at being a mobster.
Tuco was like a higher up who was hooked on the stuff that he was selling.
Oh.
Some people...
So yeah, he was proud of himself and his family and his business, but he was certainly mentally unstable.
The way I see it, some people crazy their way to the top.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for Connor, like, if there hadn't been a Connor, right now Killian would probably be the Connor.
If there was no god to strike him down, Killian would have made a tower to heaven by now.
Yeah, he would be running things with his madness, if there weren't already some madness in check. But,
Not even specifically Kavanaugh. I think it was just the Irish mob in general.
Yeah.
Because Killian is... I mean, even though Tegan...
Kavanaugh is just one arm of a bigger thing. Like, this is his city. And there is kind of a multi-city arrangement going on, but...
Tegan is the Kelly family matriarch, but... for things that don't necessarily concern the family, but concern, like, the actual business, Killian's kind of top dog there. And if there weren't a bigger dog on the other side of the fence, he probably would have jumped it by now.
Tegan is kind of the shield and you're the sword. Like, like, technically speaking, the more relevant part of things is Tegan. Because until now, there hasn't been a war.
Actually, I feel like that's a fair analogy for the relationship of the two and their family.
Like, there's not been enough conflict right now to warrant a sword. But once it's drawn, you know... You're
Killian's like
the sword more than the shield.
Wild card, I'm gonna blow you to Kingdom Come if you don't buy my gasoline out of a trash can.
You definitely are causing a lot of fucking trouble over very minor things. Like, if someone had a gun to your head and you were at a grave, a pre-dug grave, and you were still pushing it, like, fuck your mother. Like, do you want me to bury... Like, I came out here to intimidate you, and you're trying to convince me to bury you.
No, Killian wasn't say fuck your mother. Killian was saying, if you don't shoot me now, I'm gonna fuck your mother.
So,
fucking PCs, man.
So, okay, where were we? You called Connor, and Connor was like, I don't know this guy. I don't know this asshole.
Connor gave the green light on retiring the guy.
On Declan.
So, we should figure out how we're gonna do it. We should probably understand who he associates with, his route, what he does daily. Like, give him like a couple days where we're just watching.
Let me consult my family tree here. I don't think I have anybody who's actually tied in with the police, really.
You don't have any police
Does that also mean
connections.
no butter?
I'm sorry, what now?
Do you do butter?
Yeah,
Okay,
butter's fine.
butter's okay.
Vegetarian, not vegan.
Okay.
Vegans are those nerds who want animal byproduct.
Okay,
Thank-
Onions
the
and
ice
butter,
cream?
then I
You
went,
want the
oh
ice
wait.
cream, Mom?
Thank you for the concern, Lynn.
Oh, okay.
I've got a wee baby Seamus cousin who's like a butcher's boy, but that's like as ordinary as these people get.
To me, it sounds like we're at that place where we're like physically watching him, seeing what he does, following him, seeing who he associates with.
I'm assuming for the subject of killing a cop, you get together Saturday night with the other partners, and you're in the.
We have to have an official meeting. It has to be on the agenda.
So you're in the office, and the other two partners are there. They're hanging out. Carlo's working the door. Dermot's down at the bar, and you bring up the subject. You know, this Declan guy, $75 a week's not much, but why pay it?
It's the implication.
So you've brought this to the partners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Eddie says killing a cop is it's an ugly thing, but I can get it done if you want me to just take care of it. I got Gigi, hasn't worked in a week.
Ooh, Gigi. Now there's a downright frightening fella to behold.
And Gigi, I don't think Mo has even gotten really to meet Gigi. Well, you were part of Eddie's crew before you became a partner.
Right.
So yeah, you would know Gigi. Gigi is a scary guy.
I think that photo you found does it pretty well.
There's I don't know if you may have seen actually. I may have
like
sent you at some point.
What was the exact number you put to the phrase? Like the 10,000 yard stare.
The 10,000 yard
right.
stare.
Yeah.
Gigi is the kind of guy who stares into the abyss and the abyss blinks.
Yeah, he looks like the fucking horseman of death.
Gigi exists for one purpose, and it's to make other men not exist.
for the listener. Singular.
Yeah.
For the listener, we're talking about a man who is pretty skeletal in appearance, and just
I'll put up that image, and then they'll
Yeah.
listen, and they can see for themselves the terror that is Gigi.
yeah.
Now loosen Gigi, that might be a good idea, and I'm not at all opposed to the idea of threshing a little wheat now and then, but
Beautiful.
Nice.
but what if is there any way we could delegate this? Not to imply that there would not be a shit being stirred up because a cop has been killed, but at the very least, maybe we could get someone else pissed enough off at them to kill them for us. Because I was hoping that the king would want to keep his own yard in accord, but he's not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So, who would be crazy enough to kill a cop besides us?
The king quite plainly shrugged this one off his shoulders, and I will say I've seen Gigi's work, and he's... Well, I'll be frank. The man's face harrows my very soul, and I would be loath to let him loose upon another human being. If that's what it takes, I'm willing to do it. But the idea occurred to me just this afternoon. What if we could get this cop working for us? What if, instead of letting him walk out with $75 a week, we have him bringing us cash?
Now I'm very curious as to how this is going to work.
I'll be up front. I say we track the man down, we extend a special invitation to enjoy some free drinks, and then you let me shoot him in the foot.
Hold on. So what I'm hearing up until a point is get this guy on our side, get him working for us and earning money. But then at the end I'm hearing shooting. So I'm having a hard time connecting the two concepts.
Perhaps I present it in reverse order. I shoot him in the foot and then he begins earning for us.
Okay, so you're gonna scare the shit out of him and let him know that he can either die right now on the floor or he can make you money.
Unless the king's men have an unholy commitment to tying up loose ends, I'm pretty sure that somewhere outside of city limits there's still a big hole in the ground.
There are many holes ready.
This is a cop, Killian. I mean, what's he gonna... He's got the government backing. He knows our face. He does that to us. What kind of... You think a dead cop stirs up trouble. What about a live cop who gets that done to him?
Now, this isn't something that I want to bring up on a regular basis. It isn't something that I even feel okay with saying out loud, but a few weeks ago, we shot a federal agent in the face.
Wonder what... No, don't worry. Nothing bad's gonna happen, dude.
That's gonna shoot a cop in the foot. I mean,
That's a clear down step. I mean, A, it's not the face. A, it's not... B, it's not a federal agent.
I mean,
so.
if anything, you're being reasonable here.
So let's say I don't shoot him in the foot. Let's say I just graze him a little on the pinky toe.
It's a de-escalation.
I'm just saying, Killian. I don't think this is gonna achieve our ends. We either rub him out or we don't. Maybe he's willing to play ball because he's one of them bad cop types, but he has options.
Eddie nods and he says, "We got two choices." His most said, "We rub him out, or we keep him on the payroll and maybe try and put him to work to make some of that money back."
Do we agree that we would rather have the man breathing and working for us?
Eddie's kind of 50-50 on this. I mean, like, when it comes down to it, killing the guy is easy, putting him to work is easy.
Mo, what's your ideal outcome?
Man,
Does
you
he
guys
work for us, or does he retire?
Man, you guys already paying me to think? What the...
You're a partner, man. You got a third of interest.
You
in
get
this
a
group,
vote.
So it's,
Even if you waste it, you get a vote.
you can be undecided like Eddie is.
But if you and Eddie are both undecided,
Then the choice
then
comes
that
down to
means that
Killian.
Killian takes the helm.
And that's a scary thought.
And he will shoot a cop in the foot.
I say that if you're gonna shoot a man, you shoot him where it counts. And he points to his head.
So your vote is to kill him?
Yes.
So Mo's vote, surprisingly, Patrick's vote is to murder a cop.
I mean, if it's between this and trying to intimidate a
If you're
cop,
gonna shoot a guy, kill him. So what is Killian's decision then?
Eddie, can you lace a bottle with something good for a sleep? Actually, that's an unnecessary question. I still have a bit of opium up in the old bedroom.
So you're gonna try and drug this cop? Alright. Very good. Do you want to wait until next week when he comes by for his usual payment, or are you going to want to do this as soon as possible?
Oh, why not?
What are we
I
going to
think
do
we
about
should
his
wait.
apartment then?
We should wait just to avoid raising suspicion.
What
Wait
are
for him
we?
to come to you?
yeah, but
Because
it's
it
definitely-
will happen.
I mean, it's not like he's gonna be telling anyone else, "Hey, yeah, I'm going down to shake this speakeasy." But,
right.
But then we got to deal with his partner, because he's probably gonna be bringing at least a guy or two back.
Oh, his partner is going in the ground with him.
Okay then. All right.
Actually,
As long as we're on the same page about that
should we handle this in character? Do we think that we can kill Carol? Can we kill Carol and then put his partner on the payroll, or do we have to get rid of them both?
You didn't really get to talk to his partner, but as far as you can tell, I mean, he's a young guy. He just does what Carol says. So, an impressionable young cop like that.
That's more fertile ground than what we were talking a moment ago.
Carol's
What if-
middle-aged and kind of a tough nut, and he feels, like he's got some ego. So
He gets what, maybe 15 of those $75.
if his partner takes any cut at all,
So, if we shoot Carol in front of this guy and be like, "Hey, you want to make $75 a week?" Do we feel comfortable making the vote then and there?
I mean, we're not killing this guy to pay his partner $75, but we are. What is the goal here? What is the goal of change?
We are trying to reduce cost.
What is the goal?
So
of
maybe
getting
we should
this-
just get rid of both of them. It would be nice. It would be nice for the partnership if we had a cop of our own. Even
Yes.
if he was a lowly beat cop on foot patrol.
having a cop that's not in Connor's pocket is nice.
He still sees the department memos. He still goes to meetings.
At the very minimum, he's an informant who can let you know things that Connor might decide to keep from you.
So
Should we try it?
we should try it. We don't have to be such big sticklers at the that we won't even pay the guy $75 to be a informant. But and at the very least, yes, a younger, more impressionable cop who sees how things get done on the streets. Maybe he'll decide to play ball.
Declan Carroll did nightstick the kid in the back to get him to go through the door when they were leaving.
I mean, I
so
assume it was just kind of a love tap.
he's
Declan's kind of a
but
dick.
he's definitely used to getting pushed around by someone.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
We don't want to make a power vacuum
Yes, all right.
in this poor young cop's life.
Absolutely. So, okay, sure. Let's kill the older cop, get this young cop on the payroll then.
Okay, so that is the plan. And I think that's been a little bit over an hour. You guys feel like taking another break?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Sounds good.
how's everybody doing on drinks?
I'm out, but I think I've had enough for now.
You good?
Yeah.
All right.
Fairly decent. My cup
I'll
is
just
empty.
get a...
So we are back. Saturday night then. You just had the meeting about what to do with Declan and his partner. So ultimately what's been decided is that next week you're going to put them both in the ground, or you're going to put Declan in the ground and see how flexible his partner is.
We'll weigh the partner during the retirement during Declan's retirement party. We'll see how the partner takes it.
Yeah, maybe throw...
And I would say even the slightest hint that he doesn't want to play ball, we put him in the ground.
Yeah,
and we would have to be mindful that he's going to watch his partner, and he probably socializes with him to some degree.
I should have gotten one.
He's going to watch this guy go into the ground, so we should keep that in mind, too, that he's going to be willing to say anything to stay alive.
Yep.
Unless he's, like a war vet or something. Because then he might just be like, do what you will.
No, that kind of mentality is reserved for PCs.
Yeah. We'll have to weigh the guy as things go down.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot of is this guy on the up and up rolls to take place.
Okay, let's see. Sorry, I have to look up here something really quick.
How fucked did gangsters get when they started killing cops?
Pretty fucked.
Depends on how well you hide it.
A couple notable cases even involved the families of the cops.
So go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
All right. 5.
5. So tonight's going pretty good. The speed that you kind of had from the opening night has sort of carried over to tonight, despite the appearance of the cops and the kind of shadiness that gave a lot of the customers. More people have heard that, oh, hey, McManus is open for business again. So you've got about, not as many as last night, but it's a pretty good crowd. You've got the same band from last night who are in. They're playing again. They're kind of doing the smooth jazz thing. So there's enough entertainment and boost to go around. Dermot's, washing glasses, getting the whiskey flowing. And then you guys have your meeting, and then you kind of resume business, just sort of mingling with the folks or whatever downstairs, kind of having a good night. And then, yeah, after a couple of hours, there's a knock at the door. A couple of gentlemen have made their way into the speak, and then of their own volition come upstairs to the offices. Oh, fajitas. What kind of cheese do you guys like?
Sure, cheddar.
Man, I don't even know what fajitas are, but I'll take I'll take whatever you happen to have.
What white cheese do we have?
There's mozzarella and there's also...
Mozzarella sounds
No, I
fine.
don't think that's what you guys want.
I don't know, Andy. I'll eat whatever.
If it comes in a tortilla, it calls for a yellow
Monterey
or
Jack.
orange cheese.
Monterey Jack.
Yeah, I think that's probably...
I'll have cheddar.
Cheddar works for me.
Cheddar works. Cheddar?
Yep, yep.
Cheddar
I'll
cheese.
shred both.
Yeah.
You're too
Okay.
kind, Andy. Thank you.
Okay, so a couple of men, they have come upstairs to knock at the door.
I assume they are quite familiar to us.
Eddie, your piece is in the middle drawer there. Take your seat.
Eddie has a seat at the desk with the revolver in his lap,
Mo opens the door and
and it's a couple of men in suits. One is sort of a bigger, heavier guy. He looks like he's taken a beating more than once in his life, given more than a beating.
oh no.
And the other guy is a little bit skinnier, thinner-faced, scrawnier dude, but he also looks like he's, seen his share of shit. And, they step in, and the thinner guy says, "Good evening, gentlemen. We're here for our cut. Is McManus around?"
McManus has what story should we be giving them here? Should we just be sticking to the whole he's retired and we're kind of the executive directors around here, or
Were you under the impression that McManus would be up here tonight? Because that ain't the case.
And the thinner gentleman says, "Well, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Manny. This is Dante. We represent a financial group up around Brooklyn,
I roll.
and we have a business arrangement with Mr. McManus. Since I see that he is not present, I'm going to assume that you represent Mr. McManus's interests here."
are we gonna shut him down and be all like, yeah, no, we're paying the king, or how are we gonna
This
handle
isn't
this?
McManus's business. This is our business. You're clearly mistaken.
I think my friends, you have gotten the wrong impression here. McManus has retired, and we now run the business with his name as our brand. I don't know what arrangements you may have had with Mr. McManus, but unfortunately, I don't think we can help you.
And hand me the dice rolly thingy there.
The dice rolly thingy.
And Manny kind of takes a look amongst you all, and he looks to Killian, and then he looks to Eddie in the back, and then he looks to Mo, and then he chooses Mo, and he says, "Why don't you dismiss the help, and you and I talk as Italians for a moment?"
This is a partnership, my friend. We all have say in this business. We all deserve to be present. If you're going to say anything to me, you can say it to them.
We are, as I believe the familiar terminology you use is, the three of us are the interest of the house.
Well, I see. Then I will go ahead and let you know that our arrangement with McManus was $200 a night for his operation of his business here. And we expect in good faith that business arrangement to continue, lest there be any unfortunate misunderstandings or problems.
Well, tell you what, my friend. If we happen to have any unfortunate circumstances or accidents, I think you may be hearing getting a call from associates with from our friend the King, because we have already business arrangements, and there's not really much more room for more business associates. I don't think we have anything more to discuss here.
I very much beg to differ. I think that we haven't quite sorted out the problem here. And then at that moment, there's another knock at the door.
They're lining
Christ.
up. Take a ticket and wait for
uh,
your number.
Who do we have working the door? I think he needs to be replaced.
It's Eddie's new guy, Carlo. I mean, he's a tough guy, but he's in the brains department. He didn't almost go to college. But the door
He almost finished high school.
the door opens before anybody goes to get it, and it's Eric Carmody. You'll remember him as your driver.
Oh Christ, Wheel Boy.
The Wheel
Okay.
Boy, who he's healed now. He's much better. He's up and he's walking around.
Did
and,
something happen to Eric?
Yeah.
He got kidnapped by.
got
Oh
kidnapped.
my
left him in the
Christ,
fucking
we left
desert.
him in the hole.
He got kidnapped and beaten, and then he had to walk his way home from 45 miles outside of the city. But
Eric, lad, glad you made it.
he's got his little cap in both of his hands, and he says, I hope I'm not disturbing nothing, Mr. Kelly. I just I was hanging outside, and Gigi was out there also, and he told me it'd be okay if I come in.
Of course, lad. Why don't you head on down to the bar and have yourself a drink? When you're finished with that, come on back up.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. What you should want, I should tell Gigi. Should he come up, or and Eddie says, yeah, send Gigi up.
I wouldn't mind seeing Gigi right about now.
And Eric kind of, he nods and he backs out. And the two Italian thugs kind of, who the fuck is this kid and what the fuck's a Gigi? Like, fuck off, kid. So they turn back and they say, we don't want any trouble. I don't think anybody here wants any trouble. We want our $200 and we want business to continue as usual. For this $200, you receive our protection and assurances that nobody else will bother or interfere with your business.
Here's the thing, lads. I think you might have missed a key part of this conversation. This is the King's territory. This is the King's city. I don't really see that we have any business to discuss. As far as I'm concerned, you're some riffraff that the doorman let in on accident.
And his eye kind of twitches a little bit. And then he sort of pushes his jacket back. And you can see where he's got his gun holstered. He says, now listen here, you potato-eating motherfucker. I don't remember saying a goddamn word. And then the door opens behind him. Gigi,
Both of Killian's eyes are twitching. Both eyes.
Gigi doesn't even bother knocking. He opens the door, and he's a good head shorter than either of these two gentlemen. Gigi's not a very tall man, but he's got the look. He's got a cigarette in his mouth that's kind of hanging a little bit.
He might have just murdered a child in the alley. Nobody knows what Gigi just came in from.
Gigi, so glad you could join us. Our friends here were just leaving.
And they turn around and they look, and Dante, the big guy, kind of steps forward, and he grabs Gigi by the collar and the necktie, and he says, "We're fucking busy in here." And he goes to kind of push Gigi out of the room. And give me some dice there. Give me 2 more.
Here you are.
Bad news.
So,
Don't put your fucking hands on Gigi.
one does not just touch a Gigi. So,
The
that was
way,
a pretty good roll.
the way
Oh,
that
God.
Gigi was described to me was he does not differentiate between adults and infants.
So,
There is a price tag, and that is it.
nobody's innocent. So Dante grabs Gigi by, the scruff of his shirt, and the neck, and the tie. He starts to go, he pulls the door open and goes to push Gigi out. And Gigi kind of, leans back with his left foot and he slams the door closed. And then with his right hand, he takes the cigarette out of his mouth and he puts it out in Dante's eye.
Ooh.
And at this point, I'm not sure if Mo has been sitting or not, but he is certainly at attention. He's active, and he's like gonna kind of make sure his little buddy here isn't fucking doing anything, like getting in his face.
Oh yeah, no, Manny's going for his gun.
Killian go ahead and, throws back his own jacket and frees the old 1911.
Roll, what do you have for shootery? You have a gun. Of course Mo has a gun.
Of
on him.
course,
You're
Mo
going
has a
for your
gun, but I don't think.
Well, you're a partner now. You have to have at least one gun of your own.
Are we exchanging bullet fire, or are we like?
Alright, well, right now we're just drawing. No one's shooting yet.
At this point, does it matter?
Fair enough.
We have so many guys in the room and just the two of them.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, Mo is he's drawing. He's drawing. What is this a prompt for a roll or what's going on?
Yeah, roll what do you have that would apply? You've got Muggsy, so I mean that at least would apply. Dexterity would be another.
Okay, so that would be 5 dice total.
Give me. You have infantry.
4 on infantry.
Give me infantry and add any. You have 2 dexterity. Add your dexterity modifier to the infantry. So that'll be 6 dice for you.
Okay, so I'm rolling in
Killian has a hair trigger.
11, 17, and 21 is my total here.
Ooh.
And here's another die for you.
Thank you.
And I want to emphasize the intent here is he's getting out his gun to say nobody fucking move, not actually like shooting anyone.
So what's your
26 on Killian.
26, and what was yours, Mo?
17, I want to say?
17, 26.
21.
Killian has drawn and pulled the hammer. Like
Three,
he's on top of his shit.
Okay, well, Manny got 5.
Okay.
And
It's okay, Manny.
Happens to the best of us.
You're in over your head. We understand.
and Eddie got 18.
Okay.
So basically, as soon as Gigi puts his cigarette out in Dante's eye, and Dante starts screaming and struggling against Gigi,
Our 3-4
Yeah.
guns already drawn.
Manny reaches for his pistol, and then just bam! Instantly, everybody stands up, guns drawn, and pointed at Manny. And Manny kind of just slowly raises his hands as Dante is screaming, with the cigarette still half in his eyeball.
And it seems to me like we gotta let nature take its course here with Gigi.
Oh, Gigi, you do not interrupt Gigi.
All right, let's. So Manny stands there as
When
as
Gigi's
nature
involved,
takes its course.
you should expect a corpse.
All right, so I'm gonna say that Dante will try and get both of his massive bare hands around Gigi's throat.
Who knows, maybe it'll even work.
I'm guessing it won't. The minute I saw that picture, I knew. Gigi is not someone to fuck with.
So he does get his hands around Gigi's throat, but
Gigi doesn't need to breathe.
yeah, Gigi's don't breathe. Well, so they get to the ground, and that's his first mistake, is because now once you're in melee range, you are also in Gigi's melee range. So
if Gigi can put his fingertip on you, you belong to Gigi.
So Gigi bites off Dante's nose.
Oh.
And Dante, Gigi bites off Dante's nose, and he continues to scream with more of a gurgly sound now, maybe a little bit higher pitched. Kind of a nasally scream.
While keeping the gun leveled on our gentleman here, Mo is kind of gonna step around them and close the door.
Oh yeah, we don't want to be heard over the band. And they're playing smooth tonight, so we gotta clean this up quick.
Turn it up, guys. Something with a little more pep.
We can't hear you up here.
And and of course, Gigi, now that Dante's basically gone limp, he doesn't really have the muscle at this moment. He's kind of distracted by the agonizing pain. Gigi spits the nose out, and then he gets on top of Dante, and then kind of just puts both hands over his mouth and nose to keep Dante quiet for the rest of his life. So Dante,
as short-lived as it may be,
Dante gurgles and groans, and then eventually stops struggling. Manny just stands there and watches sweating bullets with his hands up as his partner is murdered.
Killian's gonna go ahead and holster his own weapon. I believe everyone in the room has shit handled already, so yeah. Killian holsters and goes over and helps himself to Manny's gun.
Now, as I was saying, I believe our business here is concluded.
Yeah, I believe McManus is as well protected. Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Whoever the fuck you are, get the fuck out of my place.
You're making a big mistake.
Now, I disagree that we're making any kind of mistake, but just curiosity is really nibbling away at me right now. Who did you say it is that you represent?
There's a financial group.
Yeah, let's talk some fucking names here, my friend.
In Brooklyn.
Yeah, okay, I got the geography down. Why don't you help me out with the name, though?
He looks pretty sick. He's kind of distracted by the corpse on the ground. It's missing a nose. And, he used to know.
Maybe, Mo is gonna walk up, grab him by the head, just like cup him by the back of the skull, force his face to the ground like inches away from the body, and say, "Tell you what, why don't you help me out with the name, or before you join this guy, where the fuck he's going?"
Okay, alright, it's the Carrera family. The Carrera family out of Brooklyn.
Thank you, my friend. You go ahead and tell your friends over in Brookenstein, the Carreros, tell them we're not paying shit anymore. Thank you for your time. And he picks him up and tosses him out the door.
And then Gigi stands up and he kind of straightens his jacket.
Thanks for the gun, lad. I really appreciate it.
And Mo, he doesn't pat Gigi, but he kind of gives the gesture
Don't
of like,
touch him.
good
But
job.
you and Gigi used to be on equal ground. You both worked for Eddie. So,
Oh, okay, as
You
long-
and Gigi, you're good. You know each other.
As long as I will not lose the arm that I touch him with. So yeah, he kind of pats him.
Gigi's a good guy. I mean, he doesn't talk much, but you and him got along great. So
Great timing, Gigi. Thanks for coming over. Can I get you a drink?
I'm good. And he takes the pocket handkerchief from Dante's body and wipes the blood off of his mouth and chin.
Drops it on his face.
Yeah, he lays it
Who
over his
needs to
face
look
like a
at-
dead body.
Who
you
needs
know,
to
like you
look
would.
at this asshole? He was ugly enough when he was alive.
Lucky enough, me own lad just showed up. He'll take care of this mess.
You're gonna make Eric deal with it.
Hey, Eric!
Welcome
Good
back.
timing.
Get rid of this fucking corpse in the office.
And then anyway, Eddie says, "Gigi, come here," and he hugs Gigi, gives him a kiss on each of the cheeks there, and oh, what brings you by? And then Gigi pulls out $150 and he tucks it into Eddie's pocket, and
Just his weekly kick
just
up.
Eddie, just Gigi was come by for his weekly kick up.
Beautiful timing, though.
Yeah, it was like, God bless. Go downstairs, have a drink on me.
Maybe we can talk about you getting you a raise around here. Good lord.
Don't drink that swill down there. We got the better stuff up here. You hang around for a few.
Gigi says, I'm not doing nothing.
You helped with the mess. You may as well.
Yeah, so, after that light snack, Gigi helps himself to a drink after all.
Gotta get some wine down with the cartilage.
Something to wash that nose down with.
Right.
So, y'all have a drink with a body on the ground.
Just another Saturday,
We occasionally make jokes about the corpse lying by the door. Knowing full well that any minute Eric's gonna finish his drink and come up and trip over it.
So, why not? Yeah, sure. After a few minutes, Eric opens the door and he comes in and, oh jeez.
Shut the fuck up, kid. You're gonna startle the people downstairs.
Oh god, oh jeez, is he dead?
And he kind of pulls Eric in and closes the door behind him. Hush up, kid. Holy shit.
Proper manners dictate that you close the door before asking a question like that.
Yeah, but is that guy dead, Mr. Kelly?
No, he's just sleeping. Of course he's dead, you dumb fuck. Hey, are you doing anything tonight?
Well, my mom wanted me to help clean up the kitchen.
So you weren't. So you're doing something now. We need this out of here. You can help us, right, kid?
Anything you say, Mr. Durante? He doesn't look like he's particularly interested in removing a body.
Did you have a good walk home the other night?
My legs are still killing me.
I bet. Have a drink.
Fake? Are those fake meats?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I have no. You have to understand. I have no idea how these are even cooked. So you can do whatever, and I will
Okay,
eat it. As far as I'm concerned, free food is the best food.
All
So
right,
thank you for the
A
concern.
chunk instead of a slice of.
Not even
Could
slightly,
you cover the sun?
dude. Fuck
Okay.
the sun.
Right?
It's
Get
still-
those curtains down. What kind of basement dwellers are we?
Okay. Is that okay?
So
Yeah,
Eric
just
begins
as
to
long
go to
as it-
work.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for the concern.
Disposing. I'm assuming after
So I'll
close.
get that going.
Yeah, we're given
Yeah.
time for the patrons to get out of the store.
We tell him where to find a barrel that'll fit it.
After a few hours and the patrons have all left, things have closed down and shuttered. You
Just
have
mind yourself, lad. Don't drop the barrel.
we know what happens to
Kids who
entry-level
drop
workers who
barrels in
drop
front
barrels.
of Killian do
They-
not turn out well.
They don't get far in this business. Don't drop the barrel.
So you cram him into a barrel. You roll him out the back, and Dante. So ends Dante. So Sunday.
Gotta update the dead card.
That's one down.
One death.
Dante
In the scene
in
you
a
met
barrel. And that is what his name will be. Dante in a barrel.
Dante in a barrel. So I'm not sure
Dante's
what
in the barrel?
Dante's barrel.
Dante's in the barrel.
Dante's in barrel. Okay.
That was awful.
So I'm
So
not sure if you have any business Sunday, particularly.
None to speak of. I mean, I guess I could shake up some more joints, but for one session, I think we've gotten one muscle and scene done.
Yeah.
So, for the sake of not no
Repeating,
repetition.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, sure, that's great. And thank you.
We still got a beat cop to deal with.
Yes, we
That's
do.
true. So we can. Actually, let's see. We are.
Get off.
As far as playtime goes, we haven't done a whole lot.
You got
so,
a
but let's,
thing in your hair.
Do I? Where is it?
A rat.
Oh, never mind. It fell out.
So I'm gonna say
My
that.
hair's a real rat nest.
So Sunday morning, you shit. What was his name? Okay, Sunday morning you get a call from Connor. I'm assuming you're answering the phone, because otherwise you would not know. But you get a call from Connor,
Someone answers it.
and he says, "Sorry to bother you so early in the morning, but I'm very much aware that you have a problem with a Mr. Isaac Kaufman up in New York."
I'm horrible with names in the first place.
He was the one who sent the two guys to murder us last
right.
session.
And the $55,000 he was going to give McManus.
Right. To be entirely honest, I've been a bit busy. Can you refresh my memory as to the context?
Well, you see, he seems to have a beef with you to the tune of $55,000 and 2 bodies. Actually, correction, 5 bodies.
Oh, right. That one.
That Isaac Kaufman.
Oh, what seems to be the issue?
Well, you see, the issue is that you killed 5 of his men, 3 on the night that they were delivering $55,000 to a Thomas McManus that we both know. And then another 2 men when they tried to kill you last week.
Oh, I do seem to recall a couple lads who seemed a bit turned around.
Yes. Well, the $55,000 you stole from him, you paid $30,000 to me, and then $25,000. You did whatever you did.
I'm sorry, is it not being recorded as McManus took the money and run?
That's not how Mr. Kaufman seems to feel about it.
Is there any chance that we can swing it that way?
Well, that's what we're going to figure out. Mr. Kaufman wants to have a sit-down with you to resolve these issues of dispute.
Now, I'll be frank here. This is a bit further out from shore than I'm used to being. Are you going to be present for the meeting?
I will be present at the meeting and personally guarantee the safety of both parties as a mediator of sorts.
I understand, so you're the middleman for this arrangement.
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
As long as neither of you make any trouble, I will not make any trouble.
So what are your expectations from myself and my partners?
Keep the peace and make the peace, so that we don't have any more men from New York coming down here to kill anyone that I do business with.
Perhaps now's not the best time to bring it up, but, the McManus Manor, had a couple of visitors from Brooklyn last night.
For fuck's sake.
One of them's retired. It couldn't be helped.
Killian, for just one goddamn weekend, could you stop killing everybody?
Now, me nor any of my men killed the lad. It couldn't be helped. Have you ever met a man with that long distance stare? The poor retiree, he just kind of put his hands on the wrong man. You understand it? It was a heat of the moment kind of thing, and if I could have stopped it, I would have considered
don't care.
it.
I don't care. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, we need to
Okay,
take
so
care of this Kaufman thing.
we table the Brooklyn thing for the time being.
Yes, let's table the Brooklyn thing.
Understood. So, when's the meeting? And, I hope you understand, for something of this kind of gravity, I have to bring my partners with me.
You can bring 2 men. Kaufman will bring 2 men. We'll meet at the casino Monday night. Be here at 9 o'clock sharp. And then he hangs up.
See, things with the king are getting better.
Well, it's
We can have a peaceful conversation
It's
now.
like, I love it. It's like when he's not mouthing off, he's making more trouble for the king than the king ever signed up for.
It's like all you've been this month is trouble. Everything was great up until, like, all of a sudden July begins. And it's like, Killian got a bug up his ass.
Hey, Mom?
But the king still knows where his money's coming from.
Of course.
There's still too much good whiskey coming from the Kellys.
Otherwise, we would not be
And-
alive.
Until Killian makes it personal with the king, they're gonna try and play ball with each other.
Is that okay?
No.
So,
it's
it is
through
Sunday.
The fan.
Oh.
Sunday night. Unless anybody has any business to tend to personally.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah, I had to help my mother move
Right,
her
perfect.
carriage. Yeah, I'll
Thank
fucking
you.
be there, Killian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming
That reminds me, Killian has like a jade piece of jewelry to pass off to Mo to return to Goldman to save face and be like, hey,
Oh, sure, yeah. He,
you know, like,
well, let's do a quick scene about
I got
that,
the word out, and one of my associates
Oh
turned
God,
up one
we're
of
really
his
going back to
people.
Goldman's.
Well, I don't like the loose end. I just
Of course.
That voice, though.
Killian had no intent of keeping the thing. He just wanted to
Yeah,
make
right.
Mo look
I ate
good.
her out.
All right, sounds good.
My,
A very nice
intestines right
bonus, admirably
Working our
performed.
way through.
So,
It's like we
So
found
Goldman.
we found a ragamuffin in the back alley that had this in his pocket,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it matches the description you gave.
yeah, so Sunday morning, or let's say, or Sunday afternoon, something like that. Mo is gonna swing by old Goldman's place, and
Sorry.
how is his shop doing? Like, how's he look inside?
Things have been cleaned up. He's got kind of, a little, bandage or whatever over where his forehead was cut, and he's kind of got an ice pack that he's using to nurse it. He's still kind of got a headache, but
Business is open
there's a
and
young newlywed couple who are kind of browsing the the different jewelry cases, and he's got an older gentleman in there that's looking at watches, but he sees you come in, and all his attention is directed towards you. Mo, how are you doing? And he comes up, he hugs you.
Yep, big hug, kiss on the cheek, that kind of thing. Hey, old man, you'll never guess what showed up. So, I was, you always said, I know my old man always said you'd rather be in college than in the streets, right? But you know what? Guess what I found? Does this look like the jewelry that was missing? He
The
holds
emerald pendant or whatever it was.
the bracelet, I think it was, yeah.
He says, "Oh, Mo, I can't believe it. That's the one that was stolen. How did you come across it?"
You'd never believe it. I went out a pawn shop down Brooklyn Avenue. There was this little fucking orphan missing an eye. Actually, he was trying to pawn it. I beat the shit out of him.
Oh, the little rat bastard. These fucking guineas, Mo. No offense.
Hey, none taken. It's my rep to live down, my friend. But look, I've come to make right. Here you go, man. And don't you worry. I got my guarantees. That shit ain't ever gonna happen again. The juices are flowing. The
the green's going to the right people. You're gonna be safe with me, old
He
man.
tucks it into his vest pocket, and he reaches up, he slaps you on the cheek gently, he says, "You're such a good boy, Mo. I don't care what your family says. Yeah, why don't you come to dinner this weekend? Me and the wife will cook you up something good."
I'm busy this evening, my friend. Maybe next Saturday. Maybe I'll cook. Bring a little. God.
Meatballs.
Maybe I'll bring some meetballs. We can heat them up.
Yeah,
It'll
bring
be
some
great.
meatballs over this weekend.
No pork.
It'll be great. Don't you worry, Mr. Goldman. Hey.
Alright, well, you have a nice day. I gotta get back to work. My throat hurts. And he hacks up a handful of blood. So, out of Goldman's. That scene end.
Alright, so that loose end is tied up.
My apologies. I did have that intention, but it never came around. So had to tie it up.
It's
And I
alright.
had to hear your impression of Marge Simpson's sisters once more.
The Mo Sislak voice.
So,
Okay, so
Sunday
that's done.
evening.
Sunday evening comes and goes. Another roll me a d6.
We are looking at 4 here.
4. Okay, so you do it's not another, it's not a fantastic night, but you managed to do another $2,000 in business at the speakeasy. I'm guessing McManus Manors is open every night, but the weekend typically is when you have the actual entertainment, and it's not just the other rest of the week. It's it's pretty much just a bar.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you make another $2,000. You can't expect to make anywhere near that much on the weeknights, just because people work and they've got shit going on. But yeah, so you make $2,000. I'm not sure what I said you made for Saturday night.
Saturday.
Shit, we got pretty close to opening night.
You got $3,200 Friday night, and then you made, I don't remember how much for Saturday, but
Probably significantly less due to the worry of cops
yeah.
popping in.
If I didn't say, let's go ahead and say $2,600, and then we'll say $2,000 for Sunday night, and then out of all of that, that's $3,200. Yeah. Plus 2,000.
Still coughing up gold there.
Yeah, pretty much. Plus 2,000. What did I say? Shit. Here we go. So 3,200 was the first night. 2,500? Was that what I said? 2,600.
Something.
2,600, 2,000. So that makes a total of $7,800 for the weekend. And I'm going to say that out of that, just in operating costs...
I'm sorry, what were the numbers?
One sec. In operating costs, I'm going to say that you guys pay like 25% into paying for staff, delivery, all the other booze that you don't supply yourself, which is $1,950. So in total, that makes for $5,850 in profit, and then that's minus the fees that you paid to people. So 5,545. 5,400 or 5,500 in total for the weekend. That's your take.
Okay.
And then, of course, divided 3 ways.
Is that taking into account the share the king gets?
No, that is only taking into account the first night's share. So let's see, that is minus...
You have to get on a weekly plan with the king. Just to avoid doing too much fucking math.
So
I was
in
about
total...
to say, this is a hilarious mafia tax simulator.
All this fucking mathematics. So
Yeah.
in total, each partner gets $1,655 for the weekend.
Okay.
Fortunately, nobody else showed up Sunday night to be like, "Hey, I had this business deal with McManus, and you owe me $500 fucking dollars."
Really starting to regret this business decision to retire McManus.
You should have just liquidated the assets, sold it to Lou.
Lou would have been happy. Hey, my own.
Wait, Lou.
Remember the doorman? I think he was for the
Isn't
last.
Lou dead?
Yeah. But if you had not killed either of them, Lou could have taken over for McManus.
Oh, that wasn't me. I was gut shot in the alley when that happened.
You know, that was Mo that
that-
killed Lou with his bare hands,
That's-
apparently.
Yep, that's on.
I'm
on
assuming
Mo
off
and-
of Eddie's orders. So
That's on Eddie and Mo.
Well, I'm sure Eddie and Mo on the drive over were like, you know what, this is a lot of money. Fuck these guys. And Mo was like, yes. Fuck these guys.
I took at least Math 101, and I can assure you that is enough money to be worth offing a guy.
That
or
is
two
almost a shit zillion dollars. So Sunday night comes and goes, and then Monday. Do you guys have anything that you want to do or take care of or set up before you go to this meeting with Kaufman?
No.
I don't think I lack the knowledge of this type of setting to say what kind of preparation would be worth doing. So I'm just gonna say nope and hop right in. It's off to the meeting.
On Killian's end of things, it's go to the meeting, come back, and then we flip the redo switch. Like, we start the week over, and Killian will tend the family business for the next few days.
Okay, do you feel confident that Connor is not selling you out?
Well, no. Last time we came to the casino, we wound up kneeling next to a hole.
Yeah, but
That
that
is
was
true.
more over a personal dispute. I don't know. He's got his money. He knows we're earning for him.
Do I have a hand grenade yet?
Oh my god, with the hand guy, I did not. Okay, give me a dice. give me 3
Here's your
for the fucking hand grenade here.
That'll determine whether my weekend business is done or not.
Of course. So Eddie, Monday morning, comes to you with a package wrapped in, the brown paper tied with string, and he says, "Good morning. Promise me you're not going to do anything fucking crazy." Killian, look me in the eyes and promise me you're not going to do anything fucking crazy with this. And he goes to turn around and go put it back in the car, like, no, fuck this.
Oh, wait.
You promise me you're not gonna do anything nuts.
Yeah.
He loves you like a brother, Killian. He can't see you do this to yourself.
So I pour a drink for Eddie and again walk him through the...
Food when you guys are ready. Do you need your tortilla heated up, or can we just the way they are, room temperature? Is that okay?
Room temperature works for me. Sure, thank you, Lynn.
I again walk Eddie through the fucking crazy train logic of this isn't to be planned around. There's no plan for this. It's
This is a fucking hand grenade, Killian. What do you mean there's no plan involved?
I'm not gonna go and blow up this end of the neighborhood or anything. It's to make an itch in my brain go away.
Killian, can you or can you not tell me what you want a hand grenade for?
Okay, fine. Saints alive. Christ, man. I won't do anything stupid
Well, I mean,
with
it's
the
not,
fucking
it's
grenade.
not like you're asking me to pick you up a carton of cigarettes. It's a fucking hand grenade, man. I don't feel unreasonable asking you what you want to do with a hand grenade.
In the last month, you've sold me at least 10 different guns, and you never once asked who I'm gonna shoot with them. I promise ya, nothing bad'll come of the grenade. It'll sit on me mantelpiece, and it'll be a nice little eye-catcher to remind me of the time that I shit my pants in the trenches.
All right, fine. Here you go. He hands you the package. He takes the drink.
I have to, of course, open it and just peek at it.
Yes,
at the
there's a
very
fucking hand
least.
grenade in there. He didn't put a bundle of socks in the package. All right, let's go ahead and take a break then and have something to eat while you ponder what you're gonna do to break this promise that you've just made to Eddie.
It's just a painted apple.
It was down in Tennessee that the jazzy melody originated and waited for popularity. Now in every cabaret, it's the only thing they play. I love to hear it, must be near it, that's why I say, take me to the land of jazz. Let me hear the kind of blues that Memphis has. I want to step to a tune that's full of ginger and pep. Just pick them up and lay them down. Learn to do the Rasmussen. And let me give you a warning. We won't get home until morning. 'Cause everybody's full of jazz. Oh, in the lovely land of jazz. Now let me give you a warning. We won't get home until morning. 'Cause everybody's full of jazz. Oh, in the lovely land of jazz. There is music in each breeze, even some bones grow on trees. You hear a moaning and groaning and tuneful harmonies. Every contemplator's buzz when he meets his loving heart is simply petted and requested to join the fun. So take me to the land of jazz. Let me hear the kind of blues that Memphis has. I want to step to a tune that's full of ginger and pep. Just pick 'em up and lay 'em down. Learn to do the Rasmussen. And let me give you a warning. We won't get home until morning. 'Cause everybody's full of jazz. Oh, in the lovely land of jazz. Now let me give you a warning. We won't get home until morning. 'Cause everybody's full of jazz. Oh, in the lovely land of jazz.
And we are back. So, you've got your hand grenade.
Mm-hmm.
It happened.
You have a meeting tomorrow night. Unless there's any other business that you guys want to tend to.
I don't think there is.
I can skip to it.
Okay. So, what did you say? 9 o'clock? I think it
Right,
was.
9 o'clock sharp.
9 o'clock sharp.
So we'll be there a few minutes early.
Of course, gotta make a good impression.
Alright, Glad, I know I've told you this 1,000 times before, but stay with the fucking car.
Yes, Mr. Kelly, I'll stay with the car no matter what. And Eric, of course, stays with the car so that he doesn't end up beaten and left in a hole 45 minutes out of town.
He's a tough kid. He could even make the 45-hour walk.
So then, you head into the casino, which is, of course, the bottom floor of the hotel, which Connor makes his base of operations. It's a very ritzy, high-class, expensive place. It has a doorman, chauffeurs, everything. And a couple of his boys, they take you down to the casino. They stop you. You can see Connor, just a ways, sitting at one of the tables. It's kind of cleared out. There aren't any people really hanging around gambling tonight. Everything Monday night has been set aside for this meeting. And then the men stop you, and they say, we're going to have to search you.
Mo will gladly surrender his firearm and let himself be patted down.
Eddie allows himself to be patted down and have, unless you guys had any additional weapons stashed aside from, your pistols or whatever revolvers you may have, they'll take those. Please tell me Killian did not bring his fucking hand grenade to this meeting.
No, it's in the back seat of the car.
Okay, so they pat you guys down. They take
just a pistol and a knife.
They take your weapons. Unless anybody did anything special to try and hide.
Oh yeah, he stuffed the hand grenade up his ass. That's where it is.
Well, I got smuggler points.
If you wanted to smuggle a knife or something in here, I would let you roll to do that.
I would say straight razor is pretty
Straight razor in the boot.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll
Something
your
very simple there.
roll your wisdom and smuggler.
Let's see how many dice?
4.
4. Here you go.
Hmm. 17.
17. All right, so they do not find the straight razor that you have hidden in your boot.
It's like going into a New Vegas casino.
Yeah. So they don't find the straight razor you have hidden in your boot, and they bring you in. Connor is sitting at the head of a table. The men that searched you kind of linger around a little bit for his protection. He's smoking a fat cigar. He's got a bottle of champagne and, little snack foods and everything laid out. Just kind of, some caviar, just stuff for a little social dinner.
Yeah.
And then after a few minutes, you can see at the door comes in, presumably, Isaac Kaufman. With him are 2 of his men. Both of them are pretty large, heavy-set bruisers. They pat them down, search them, and remove their weapons as well. Isaac is a shorter gentleman, just a little under 5.5 feet. He's got, very short and neat hair, a very thin mustache. He's got a bowler hat, which he removes. And then he sits across the table from you, Eddie, and Mo, with the 2 men at either side. Connor is kind of seated to the right in between you. And Connor says, now we're all here because there is some bad blood between the 2 of you. Hopefully, at this meeting we can resolve that bad blood and get back to business as usual. If anybody has anything that they would like to say to get us started.
If I'm not being too simple in my synopsis of the situation, these lads here, they had a business arrangement with the previous tenant of my building, and they seem to think that the same arrangement applies to the new management.
Kaufman kind of sizes you up, looking you up and down, and then he looks to Mo, and then he looks to Eddie, and then he says, I am a very simple man of simple means. I'm not going to mince words and waste anybody's time. First of all, I would like to thank Connor for hosting this little get-together. But let me be frank. You owe me $55,000. You owe me, I think, a fair amount of $5,000 for each of my men that you have killed in the attempts to return to me what is rightfully mine. And I don't think I would be too out of line to ask for further money for reparations for the tremendous insult that you have offered me.
Frankly, I don't know where these numbers are coming from. I never entered any kind of bargain with you. I never made any kind of arrangement.
I feel that $100,000 would square the debt. I'm not going to waste anyone's time by pretending to entertain the notion that you don't owe me any money or that you do not know where my money went. We all know that you have the $55,000 or that you had the $55,000. Where it is now, what you spent it on, I do not care. I want my money back. I want to be repaid for the insult and for the deaths of my men. That is all I have to say. And then he pours himself some champagne.
I hope you don't think I have any ideas here.
Well, my very fine-hatted sir, I believe that you owe my partnership reprimations for the insult.
Reprimations.
Reprimations. See, the timeline, as concerns yours truly, I approached a Mr. McManus, who said that he had the ball rolling on a retirement plan. He signed the deed over to my associates and I, and that was that. And then, practically the very same moment that we open our doors to do business with our newfound possession, our new asset, a couple of goons walk in, and they presume to tell me what to do in me own house.
Out of character for a moment. Is this is the guy who tried to get us whacked by having the goons in McManus Manor before we even reopened it up, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, right. Okay. But
You might
was that
mention
also
that.
was that also related to the he wasn't the same guy who it was the Italian mafia who then tried to shake us down after
That's
right?
totally unrelated to, yeah. Right.
Okay, just making sure I have my
So that's
story
another
straight.
account you're going to have to settle in the future. God knows how.
The shakedown is on the back burner for the time
Yeah.
being.
We have stirred up more than enough shit. The shit is in a line, and we're just going down it. So, okay, sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
So Kaufman, he takes a cigarette and lights it for himself. He's got a fancy, thin cigarette holder. And he says, again, I am not an unreasonable man, and I'm not going to waste anybody's time. I understand that $100,000 for men of your ilk is probably not very easy to manage. $100,000 is, no mere pocket change to men such as you. I also understand that you deal in quality whiskey. I have had the chance at Mr. Connor's recent social event to sample the whiskey. I find it to be adequate. I can move it myself at a profit. For 650 barrels of your whiskey, I will consider the matter resolved. That, of course, includes transporting on your side and all other risks that entails. Deliver me 650 barrels of your whiskey in New York, and you can consider us to be solved.
Most speaks up. Now, my friend, I don't seek to speak out of line here, but I feel it should be openly discussed that that after acquiring McManus Manor, after our dear friend went to who knows where after making a formal deal with us, we find your goons trying to kill us before we've even opened up for business. I ask you, my friend, what business do you presume to have with us that we should owe you this much money?
I agree. Yeah, you come here with a proposal of us making good face on a debt that, frankly, I hope my partners will forgive me if I'm speaking for them when they disagree, but you're talking about a debt that we don't even recognize as existing.
I'm not an unreasonable man. I cannot stress this enough. But, as you have already admitted, you are in possession of McManus Manor very shortly after the mysterious disappearance of the good Thomas McManus. The 2 men that I sent to investigate the matter of my missing funds met an untimely end at your hands, which you have essentially already admitted to. I cannot help but feel this is adequate evidence to implicate you in the disappearance of Mr. McManus and my $55,000. All of that aside, it is entirely irrelevant because the $55,000 that I gave to McManus is gone and you now own his business. That is a debt that he owes to me, his business owes to me, his estate owes to me, and you, my dear friends, control that business and estate. No matter how you slice it, you owe me that money.
He's laid out a pretty concrete case here, hasn't he?
Has he got it on paper?
McManus!
Well, yeah, you don't really need it on paper when it comes to this shit.
Yeah. You can't really
You would
go to the
rather it
government
not
and the
be on
courts.
paper.
You can't go to the courts with this.
Frankly,
He may have us over a barrel here.
frankly,
And he owns the barrel now. We owe him that barrel he has.
For
or something.
650 barrels of your whiskey, he's willing to consider things resolved.
frankly, McManus never made any mention of ya, your arrangements, or the deal that I do feel for ya went south on ya.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, that you're talking about that robbery that was going on over McManus's manor. It was all over the news. What, you're saying that was your cash? He owned the place at the time. What if you got mugged outside our place? We buy the building, now we owe you the $20?
Let me go ahead and just wait here for that blender to stop.
So we can all enjoy our untimely death oncoming.
So he says, let me try and put this another way. You can pay me what we all know is due to me, or I can kill your entire family. And he looks directly at Killian when he says this. And Connor says, now, come on, there's no reason to go overboard here. We're all grown men. We can discuss this as businessmen.
And Mo is gonna.
Oh, wait.
For the listener, we will surely edit this out.
No, there's really no way to.
Oh, really?
So,
let's see. Yeah, Mo is going to say, as a player, I'm going to try and get the king on our side here a little bit. Try and shift the atmosphere.
You want me to go with Papa?
yeah. So you want to...
I want to try and shift the atmosphere and make it seem as if this man is being far less reasonable than he is. And Mo is going to kind of gesture to the Don, and he's going to say, "Sir, if you don't mind me speaking out of line here, if our money was robbed, and you purchased McManus Manor, would our debt or our stolen money be any concern of yours? That was our loss. That was our business. And now you're and running the joint now. How could you be
burdened with a debt that belonged to another man, committed by a crime that was committed by another man.
Roll your almost went to college, and if you have any charisma,
Okay, let's
add
see.
it to that.
If
And this is your appeal to Connor?
Yeah, that's the Don, right? The king?
Connor the king.
Connor the king,
The
yeah.
Irish
the
guy,
local
yeah.
boss of our city.
Okay, so I have 3 and almost went to college, no charisma, so 3 dice. And we're looking at 9 total here.
9 total, okay. So Connor, he's got his fat cigar as usual. That he takes a puff at as he listens to you, and he turns to Kaufman and he says, "Mr. Kaufman, you gotta understand, these men, whatever business relationship they may have had with McManus prior to his disappearance, is mutually exclusive from whatever arrangements you made with him before he disappeared. You can't reasonably expect the new tenants or owners of his business to pick up all of his debts. You'd have to go to the next of kin." And Kaufman just shakes his head and he says, "To my knowledge, Mr. McManus had no next of kin, save for a doorman, apparently, that he considered to be something like a son to him, who has also disappeared. I did not come here to be insulted or to have my intelligence questioned. I think that we are all very clear on what happened to Mr. McManus and where the money went. I want what is mine." And Connor then looks to the 3 of you, and he says, "Is there anything that you could possibly offer in reparations to try and smooth this ordeal over? You don't deny that you killed the 2 guys who were poking around McManus Manor, do you?"
I don't deny that there were a couple of hooligans there to cap us for reasons we are still not entirely clear on.
Okay, well, at the very least, we can start there. You killed the 2 guys, let's say $10,000. And he turns back to Kaufman. He says, $10,000. Can we at least agree to start there? And Kaufman says, "That's outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. $50,000 would be the minimum price." And then Connor looks to you as if expecting you to, 50 grand?
How many barrels of whiskey is that?
Well, he said before 650 barrels of whiskey will resolve it, which you sell at an average price of about $100 a barrel. So that's, 65 grand, I think.
What was the figure he
How
was
many
quoting?
barrels?
650 barrels of whiskey at $100.
Yeah.
So that's $65,000 in product. He would want you to not only create and then deliver to him, but guarantee the security of and transport all that. And as far as transportation goes, you only really deliver to local. You don't go out of state for your deliveries.
So
We don't even have an engine. We use a fucking horse-drawn wagon.
You have a couple of trucks, but yeah, that's not going to deliver no 650 barrels across state.
Oh, was that pineapple juice?
Yeah.
I'd love some if you wouldn't mind.
It's pineapple juice and rum. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. I could go for a drink.
Even-
Thanks so much, then.
Even considering the truth of the matter, I still feel like this guy's being a huge dick just because he feels like he has the liberty of being a huge dick.
Did you get some?
Isn't that the mafia in general, though?
He's a very wealthy Jew. I mean, on a whim, he sent 55 grand down to finance the takeover of several speakeasies. So, more than anything, it's probably just the offense of robbing him that he's angry about.
Well, we also have the offense of him trying to whack us without going through any kind of proper channels at all.
Well, that's why he's on the top of the chain and we're near the bottom.
Yeah, like what proper channels are to the? You're not made guys, or you're not in the mafia. You're not in the Irish mob. Like, He tried to kill you for robbing him, so...
But this is both mine and Killian's perspective. He still can't fucking prove that we ever had the money. He
That's
can't
true.
prove it.
He strongly suspects... of course, Connor knows you had the money because you admitted to him and you paid him out of it.
Yeah.
Connor, obviously, I don't think has told him because otherwise Kaufman would be
The
furious
sit
at
down
Connor.
wouldn't even be happening if that were the case.
Yeah, Kaufman would have sent a team down here to kill Connor too. If
Yeah.
he found that Connor had taken the
we
bulk
would be
of the money.
we would be a side stop for the hit squad.
Yeah, more or less Connor has called us here to appease the guy and make things sure things
Yeah, you
go
guys
over
smoothing
nicely.
things over with Kaufman scratches Connor's back too, so he's conveniently not taking any responsibility for all this.
Yes, just sitting on the sidelines being a
That
simple
douche.
third party. They played us. They played us like a fiddle.
So Kaufman is adamant about reparations. He does not yield for a moment that you guys did not ambush his men and take the money.
I'd be happy to discuss a fair price, a generous price even, for the 2 men that you wrongfully sent after us. But the thing is, and now that I sit here and I consider it for a few, I'd even be willing to throw in a bit of a gratuity, a bonus, for my good friend Mr. McManus having ripped you off, but his debt is not mine.
What sort of numbers are we talking here?
I give a glance to both my partners to, please jump in if I'm out of line here,
Right,
but
right.
We'll pay you for your 2 men, and then let's say another 50% on it for hurt feelings and insults dealt.
And what number would that come out to? What are
Good question.
like-
What is the math on that?
Like he was asking for
He was
how much
asking
for $5,000.
He was asking $5,000 for a man.
Oh, okay.
When that's when he was saying, you killed 5 of my guys. So
Right.
that would be
And-
$10,000 on the 2 guys that you killed that he sent to kill you. 50% on that would be, so in total that'd be $15,000 that you're offering him.
Maybe I'll. I don't know if we have the money on hand, but we could probably work out something with the whiskey. But I don't know about transportation. That would be a separate thing.
Yeah.
He would have to handle transportation or be willing to work more locally.
And we'd be able to make this demand of product, because I do have to stress that we're not exactly a cash business. We deal more with product than we do in money.
Right. so-
But money and product combined, to do this in a timely manner, we would need you to take care of transportation. If you want us to take care of transportation, then that's going to come down to either docking the final figures or allowing for a bit of a time period to make the demands.
What, let's see, what do you have for charisma?
I have a modifier 3.
Yeah, make
And
sure
do
she
you have any other
hasn't eaten.
cliches that would be adequate?
Community ties,
So in the morning-
smuggler.
You're basically
If he
talking
were
about
local, I would say it would go off community ties, but smuggler for sounding like I know what I'm talking
I'm
about.
gonna go ahead and say add
It's full right now.
smuggler to that. Smuggler and charisma.
And that's what, like 7?
6.
Okay, 6. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. That should be right.
Yeah. Come on, dice. Need this to work.
Right back in the shirt. Sure.
23. Shit, they're using cards.
Okay. So he sits back a little bit in his chair, and then he smokes on his cigarette. And then he looks at you, looks to Connor, looks to Mo and Eddie, and then he reaches into the pocket of his jacket and pulls out a small notepad. And then he takes a pen and, looks the tip, and he does some quick scribbling on it. And then he says, "What would you say to 250 barrels of your whiskey in reparations and a continuing business relation of 25 barrels a month at $75 per barrel?"
It's pretty generous.
Which is, of course, a $25 discount per barrel.
But we give him the shit right off the still, unaged.
He didn't say anything about give me the good shit.
Right.
He wants your quality whiskey, but all Killian Kelly whiskey.
People
quality.
who don't make whiskey don't realize
People
that
in
there's a
fucking-
3-year aging process.
People in New York ain't gonna give a shit. I mean, he's
No.
gonna take it watered down anyway. So
So, alright, that seems reasonable enough.
I could agree to these figures if, and I just want to be very clear on this, if you're willing to state that this is for insult and the men that you lost, the good men, I dealt with them myself. They were definitely good men, and they're worth this kind of price. But this has nothing to do with your debt with Mr. McManus.
And Mr. Kaufman will stand up and he will straighten his bow tie.
Looking for dice.
And he will straighten his jacket a little bit. Yeah, give me a couple of these. He'll straighten himself in his bow tie, and then he'll stand up and he'll offer his hand out to you. And if you stand up and go to take it, then he will pull it back, and he will say, "I am an honest man, Mr. Kelly. Just admit to me that you took my money. The deal stands as I have offered it, but just look me in the eye and tell me you took my money."
I feel like
I
that's...
can honestly say I
I
never touched the bag of money.
The bag.
The bag, the bag of money.
Is that what...
How else are you going to carry such cash?
And so then he will look to Connor, and he'll look to Mo and Eddie as if offering you guys a chance to step in. And Eddie will say nothing. Mo, are you
Good
going
Eddie.
to step in here?
Mo, as far as he's... let's see. Was he part of the raiding party who looted the...
Mo was part of the raiding party.
You killed Lou.
Killed Lou.
And he killed Lou later.
Poor
on,
Lou.
Yeah.
And he kind of catches Eddie's silence, and he doesn't say anything. He's given the stone wall.
So Killian will insist that it is not. He did not take his money.
No. We took McManus's money.
Well, so you'll tell him that you took McManus.
No, I don't say
Okay.
that out loud. No, that's Killian's, like... I could pass a lie detector had it been invented.
And he'll
What's the worst that could happen here?
he'll put out his cigarette and he'll say, "I can do business with wicked men, but I cannot do business with dishonest men. Tell me you took my money, or I walk."
And Mo's gonna look to the Dawn, and he's gonna be like,
How? We're being called liars over a simple business transaction.
as if to like get him to say something.
Okay, yeah. Connor will turn to Kaufman and he'll say, "Look, Isaac, does it really matter? does it really matter who took whose money? I mean, you got a good deal on the table. And Kaufman just holds a finger up to him like, shut the fuck up.
Oh.
What does this have to do with you, little man?
Oh, God.
And he'll look Killian in the eye. Are you an honest man, Mr. Kelly?
If we can at least make this guy look like the unreasonable jackass, maybe we can at least get Connor on our side.
I don't see the point in asking so many times. I'm not denying that with my business relation with Mr. McManus, there entirely is the possibility that some of your money came across me own palms and I profited off of it. But I'm not your robber. I'm not your thief. And
then he begins to walk past you, heading for the door with the 2 men following him. Look after your family, Mr. Kelly.
What's the worst that could have happened?
they need no looking after.
What we'll see about that, Sonny Jim.
Sonny Jim. And Connor watches them go, puffing on his cigar. Well, that could have gone fucking better.
Could have gone better. Maybe if a certain somebody did what he was paid to do.
That goes over Connor's head, whatever that's supposed to mean.
That's probably best.
And Connor snaps his fingers. More champagne.
I need a drink after this. Jesus Christ.
So, Malige, where do we go from here?
Well, it sounds like you're going to go to war. And Connor, helps himself to a nice tall glass of champagne. And, swirls it a little bit, gives it a bit of the nose, and sippy poo.
This might not be something that you've considered before, but we can avoid a lot of blood on your streets if you induct my family right now.
You mean membership into the mob?
We're first generation and we're top earners.
So you
Frankly, I feel we deserve it, even if the circumstances didn't stand the way that they do.
So you want to become a made guy in Connor's organization?
Yes.
Wow.
How's Mom
And,
doing over there?
but,
Just
Connor
watching the
has to
spectacle.
know that this means I am his and in his pocket until the whole thing blows over.
Until?
You do understand, as a made guy in Connor's organization, as a soldier, you owe to him, your earning, basically. Like, he is your boss officially then, and when he says, hey, do this, do that, give me, more money, you do that. That's what you're signing up for?
Our alternative is being hung out to dry by him.
I
think that's where it's gonna go if we don't.
I am even speaking outside of the authority of the partnership. If
Roll
they
your
want,
charisma.
if they want to ride the storm with me, they are welcome to go to hell with me. But I mean, I'll pay them out and they can leave now.
Where else is Mo gonna go? It's every Irishman's dream.
Well, Mo's an Italian, and unfortunately,
13.
you guys haven't made good friends with any Italians lately.
It's always the different ethnic guy with the main ethnic group, like the white guy who hangs around
You can
with
be
the
the
black
Henry
guys.
Hill.
Yeah.
13, you said?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sometimes that's just how life goes.
So Connor will stand up, and, he'll rebutton his jacket, and, he'll open his arms, like, come here, Killian. It'll hug you.
We had
and,
some hard times, son.
Yeah, he'll hug you and he'll pat you on the back and then he'll hold you at arm's length and he'll smack you on the cheek, maybe a little bit too hard. He's you're gonna be all right, kid. And then he looks at your two guinea wop bastard friends, like I don't know about them, but you're gonna be all right. And he says, I'll make some phone calls and I'll try and smooth this over. But tomorrow you and I are gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about my end of things. Because when you work for me, you work for me. Now, enjoy yourself. It's Sunday night. Or Monday night. Whatever. He doesn't keep track. What does he give a shit? So,
It's nighttime.
It's night. It's a night.
He pays other people to check the clocks.
So, that could have gone better. But
It could have.
It could have. But yeah, you still have a matter to take care of later this week. Declan.
Oh Christ, that's
Declan,
small
yes.
potatoes by comparison.
Comparison to the rest of this week.
We're just gonna rub
After-
them both off.
Af-
Like they're both done for. I
After-
don't have the time to worry about them now.
After we just got done, like, with multiple heads of crime families having a little sit down here. Yeah, by the way, there's this beat cop who's been taking $75 a week. Let's go, let's get to that already. Yeah, no.
Do you just even want to wait until next week, or you just want to put some guy out on it to hit him? To rub him out. You want to put a GG on it?
Oh my God, yes.
You just want GG to track him down and take care of it?
Would it be too bold to be like, hey Gigi, go find these two guys and bring them to me?
Bring him to you, or just
Like,
take
I
him
know
out?
it's outside of his usual work orders, but is he capable of that?
Gigi could maybe swing that. He's really more of a, point and click kind of guy.
Do the thing for yourself if you have to, but if the opportunity arises, I'd like to look him in the living eye one last time.
I mean, you can just wait for him to come next week, but...
I don't see the timetable necessities here if we're just gonna send
You've
it.
had a busy day. Considering how badly the
Let's
day has
sleep
gone,
on
you
it.
might want to
Sleep on it, so you're going to
Yeah.
wait until their next
Yeah.
trip. So you wait till Friday night.
Yeah.
So Friday night, it's another hoppin' Friday night at McManus Manor. Things are going as normal. You had to work out an arrangement, of course, with Connor, which does not go in your favor.
We're pretty much his lightning rod on the speakeasy now.
50% of all of your action goes to Connor now. Half goes to him, to the family, as it were.
It almost seems like it would have been cheaper to pay the Jew out. And just...
Only we didn't have it.
That too.
We didn't have the means to make that happen.
Well, I mean, the barrels, I'm sure he would have been willing to, wait.
The opportunity's come and gone, so let's...
That time is gone, yeah.
So, 50% of all action, your action goes to Connor. McManus Manor, he does not consider to be a three-man thing. He considers that you, and he expects 50% of McManus Manor's action. The protection racket that Mo's got going, that's, your thing as far as he's concerned. You don't pay to Connor other than your normal 10% protection fee. But anything that Killian is going to be doing from now on is kicking up. So that's a pretty big hit that you've taken. But as far as you can tell right now, his protection is solid, and he's kept the Jew at bay by saying, hey, I've inducted Killian into my thing, and he's not untouchable anymore. So whatever beef you have with him, I'm sorry you couldn't make a deal, but you need to fuck off. So for right now...
Oh my God, I'm part of the Irish mob.
So for right now, as far as Kaufman is concerned, he cannot get at you, and he cannot get at your family. Eddie and Mo, those are still gray areas. If he really wanted to, he could come at Mo's family, Eddie's crew, but he hasn't, not this week. That's, like I said, that's kind of a gray area. Those are associates of a made guy, so it's a feud that Kaufman is assessed.
It's touchy.
It's touchy, so
Anybody who goes after them, I can go after them without recourse.
rest assured, it's, he is not done with you, but at the moment, his hands are sort of tied. But yeah, so it is Friday night. Dickie Diamonds comes by. He comes by for the 50%, which $245 was what you were paying before at 10%. So that's what, times 5?
Yeah.
So that's $1,225 that you are paying now up to Connor.
Shit, I can pay that out of my end of things alone.
We did it.
So that sounds fair. I'm sticking with the partnership's original ruling. You stir the shit pot, you pay for what boils over.
Alright, so you kick up the $1,225 to Dickie. He's got a briefcase that he...
Which leaves me with like $350 again.
Which is, it's being a maid guy is a glamorous life, but it's not as nice as people make it out to be.
I traded all of my cash for the opportunity to whack pretty much any nobody I want to.
Yeah, you are, you've got benefits and perks, just not cash.
Right.
So Dickie, you guys, you and him, you're probably like brothers now. He's a maid guy, you're a maid guy, so, you're like family. So he's gonna hang around, he's gonna have a drink, play some pool.
And I welcome him, open arms. I even do that queer Italian cheek kissing thing for him,
yeah.
And then I smack him much harder than necessary, but just to smack.
Hey, you motherfucker, you.
Just to let him know this is an Irish house, you.
And Dickie goes to play pool. And then,
I let him know there's gonna be a show tonight that he might want to see. It'll be great.
And sure enough, close to midnight, in comes, Declan Carroll and his rookie partner. And of course, the people are, kind of leery and a little, this is fucking, uncomfortable. But as per the usual routine, the younger partner goes to the bar and has a drink, and Declan comes up to you.
Is he still trumping around in full uniform, or did he have...
Oh, they're in full uniform. They didn't give a shit.
as soon as he comes through the door, hey.
And I'm gonna say that people kind of start clearing out tonight. And, the younger partner sits at the bar, and...
2 people sit up, 3 people sit up.
And then, Dermot,
What's going on?
Dermot goes in the back and, to take his break. And then the other bartender, Gigi, comes out.
Oh, Christ.
Because, it's a special night, so Eddie arranged for a change of pace. So Gigi comes out, cleaning a glass.
I step out on the foreman's walk and, hey Gigi, bring my friend up. It's a night of celebration.
And then Gigi says, come on, I'll fix you a drink upstairs.
Welcome to the VIP life.
So the cop, the young rookie partner, doesn't think anything of it. Just, sure, why not? And he heads upstairs, and Gigi follows behind him. And then Dermot comes back out from the back room to begin serving drinks to everybody else. The band kind of plays a bit louder. And then Declan and his young partner are now in the foreman's office with you. And Gigi comes in behind them and pulls the shades, the blinds. So you're sitting in there with Mo and Eddie and Gigi.
This Officer Declan, was it?
Declan Carroll. I've just come by for my weekly taste. That's a joke, son. And he smacks Killian on the back. And he steps forward with his nightstick to shuffle around the money you've been counting on the table, and he says, "Oh, not doing as well as last week, huh? But I guess that's to be expected after the reopening. Things always kind of taper off there."
Things are never as good as opening night.
Still, though, a deal's a deal. So he leans forward and he starts, sliding the 75.
Right. As he helps himself, Mo is going to come up from behind, grab his wrists, and, force him behind his back and, try and pin him to the table.
Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Get off of me, son! And then his partner goes to step forward, reaching for his gun. And, you did decide we're killing them, right?
Both of them, yeah?
I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking at me like I'm a decision maker here, man, I'm the muscle. I'll do whatever.
You're one of the partners.
So as Declan is reaching for his 75, and you grab his wrists and kind of hold him tight, his partner steps forward. Hey, what's the big idea? And he goes for a service revolver. But then all of a sudden, he's having a hard time breathing because Gigi has slit his throat. So,
a serious case of spontaneous slit throat, man.
Yeah,
my sister had one of those.
He just all of a
I
sudden
want to tell him off for getting blood on my floor, but I know better. You don't tell off a Gigi.
Yeah, so Gigi gave him a case of the slit throat.
And Mo's kind of, as he kind of gets him in a pin, he's gonna kind of forcefully grab his chin and say, "Plans have changed, friend," and he's gonna try and snap his neck.
Alright, roll your Muggsy and strength.
Alright.
Come on, good roll. Spin his head around.
We got 6 here, so 1, 2, yep. And I got 12, 15, 18, and that's a 23.
Okay, well, he got 9. So he kind of struggles and twists a little bit, but he just does not have leverage. You've got him too good of a hold, and yeah, you twist his neck until you hear that pop that tells you the job is done, and he goes limp.
And he kind of tosses his body off the table. That's your problem, Gigi. You like too much blood. What's with you? Always with the blood, man.
And Gigi shrugs.
Making muscle jokes.
You need a clean kill, otherwise it's such a mess. Pain in the ass, I tell you.
Gigi wipes the blood off on the little bartender's towel that he's got tucked into his belt, and then he lights himself a cigarette and he shrugs, it is what it is.
Ah, Christ. It's gonna take hours of scrubbing for poor Eric to get at that.
Have Eric bring the car around.
Maybe with a mop, too. He's got to clean up Gigi's mess.
Yeah. Poor Eric. And so aside from taking those bodies out to pre-dug holes in the desert.
I was going to say, there's that one hole that's still there.
That's hole that's still there.
We're just gonna, throw a body in, throw a few shovelfuls of dirt, and just keep adding to it week after week.
I think that is pretty good for tonight.
A toast for the partners.
A toast for the partners.
A toast for the partners.
I sincerely thank them for dealing with my crazy shenanigans.
And there's still that grenade.
Dude, that's like Chekhov's grenade. You know that shit's just gonna come up
that
sometime.
That is going to come back up.
Unless Eddie's gone and told anybody. Eddie's the only one who knows I have it.
Yeah, no, there's no way that...
And even if other people knew, Eddie's the only one who suspects that it's in my jacket at all times.
At all times.
It worries me. But we will see what happens next week on Prohibition, Pen and Paper.